What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? So, TikTok is banned in the United States as of now. I just got a message on TikTok. I was just about to go live because we had an hour before midnight. And here it is, 8 o'clock. It's not midnight on the Midwest or the East Coast. It's not midnight where I'm at on the West Coast. And here it is, it's gone. I went to go live, and I promise you, it's about to go live, and then boom, it cut out. I was expecting it to happen at midnight. Good evening, humble. But it just happened. TikTok is banned in the United States. And what's so crazy, for those who have been following me for a minute, it literally says this. Sorry, TikTok isn't available right now. A law banning TikTok has been enacted in the United States. Unfortunately, that means you can't use TikTok for now. We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned. Do you guys see that TikTok has literally got in bed with Donald Trump? I know people are going to be like, oh, whatever we can do to get, he's coming in to be the hero. And they're working with him no matter what to make it happen. And of course, people who want to be in TikTok, they're going to make it. It's not midnight in the East Coast yet. It is literally 11. When it happened, it wasn't even 8 o'clock yet. It was like 7:58 or whatever here. So that means it was 10:58. So it's been down for about 15 minutes, somewhere around there. So it's been a shock because, again, like I said, I was going to go live to, express to people that if we go down, take it easy. I've been there for almost 5 years, a little bit over 4 years. So I was like, and I had promised the people earlier because I went live earlier today, and I said I would get there before the 19th. And right when I was ready to go live, boom, it was taken away. For those of you guys who follow me, I started over there, and I started bringing my audience over here and expressing, facts about everything from politics to regular day life, And it was just insane to witness, to be a part of a situation where a country banned an app. I don't remember that ever happening in this country. It sounds like a dictatorship. I mean, because you got to think about it. What is this app doing that all the other apps aren't in America? What are they doing? Facebook had Russians all over it, spreading propaganda like crazy. Did we ban Facebook? No, we asked them to start looking at the facts and not allowing other people in other countries to infiltrate America and put out propaganda. So they actually started doing that, and less Russians got through. And now they're allowing it back, which means it will be filled with Russian propaganda, which is now, sadly enough, American propaganda. We got people saying, this white nationalist stuff, that Russia's not that bad. Even Trump, Putin's not that bad. Our enemies are not that bad now. I've never heard of such in my life. If nobody's bad, then who is? If our enemies are good to us, then where are the people who are our allies and who really is a threat? Our enemies are no longer a threat to us? We want to pal with our enemies? It's just insane. It's crazy talk. And here we are. In Crazy Town. And to save TikTok, you got to get in bed with Trump. My worry is this, because like I said, I'm a creature of TikTok. I started there doing my thing. My worry is this. If Donald Trump has some kind of leeway to extend it and has already aligned billionaires to buy it. I saw one billionaire say, and that was the billionaire Frank McCourt, who used to own the Dodgers and sold the entire team but kept the parking lot. Yeah, the one who had a bad divorce and his wife almost took half, if not half. I saw him talking about buying TikTok without the algorithm. So you're buying a shell of an app. Why are you spending upwards of $30 billion for the shell and not the actual software? You think that we're shadow banned now, TikTok people, that app is going to be the same as Twitter. It's going to have propagandists on that thing talking 24/7. None of our videos will be shown. People who have amassed hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers, you're going to see a decrease in people paying attention to your content. The algorithm should be banned. Maybe. Was that Save Wit? But they're gonna get rid of it. Dumbest timeline. In the dumbest timeline. I hear you. He did want it banned a long time ago, but you know what's so tripped is that I think people don't pay attention to the fact that a lot of what these people are doing is just personal benefit. They want power. They want wealth. So they'll do whatever they can to get you and you and you on their side. They'll say whatever they can. It doesn't matter just as long as you give them that power. I don't know about you, but in the last, since 2015 or something like that, you just see how people are moving. It's not about what they care about. It's what they can get you to do. Power is the game. Economics is the game. People are an afterthought. You was watching a live here to learn. I was right there I was about to go live just to say, goodbye possibly, because I know it said the 19th. It went down on the 18th. And in other countries, it's been the 19th for a while. So it wasn't like that just happened to become the 19th. In the middle of the 19th for them, because it's been the 19th for them pretty much all day. So I don't know. Maybe it was there. Maybe it's 5 p.m. there or something like that, and everybody got off work and decided to shut it off at the end of their day, their work day. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But all they left a message is that stay tuned. Donald Trump may come in and save the day. President, what does it say? President Trump may come in and save the day for y'all. That's fucking insane. That's insane. I don't know. In other news, I woke up this morning and my friend had sent me a video clip like the day before or something like that. And the video clip was Snoop Dogg and a few other rappers, Nelly and they were performing, Rick Ross. And they said it was at some kind of Trump function. And I was like, was this like 2016? Because y'all remember, Snoop Dogg said he was waiting on somebody to perform at Donald Trump's inauguration back then. He was like, which one of you guys are going to do it? Which one of you, he called him out their name too, like Sambo or something like that. He said, which one of y'all gonna do it? Like he was gonna clown him. And then you got this half bald braided brother up on stage, standing behind a mixing board with a mic in his hand. He not only rapping for them, he's working the board. It's crazy how black people will own a damn record label and still be a slave. How the hell you on stage as the owner of a record label, working the board and on the mic and performing for a crap ton of young white people that support the biggest racist and criminal in America? It's insane. We're in an upside down world, y'all. In an upside down world. This man was literally saying years ago that you are a Sambo if you're going to perform for Donald Trump. And not only is this fool performing for him, he's literally doing work like a DJ. He's working the boards himself, like he couldn't hire nobody. He's looking like an employee making $30 an hour, and he's a record label owner. Was the money that good? You're already a millionaire, multimillionaire, owning properties, TV shows everywhere. And you got to go do menial labor for a racist. Wow. That's insane. Tupac must be turning in his grave doing like circles. This man said he looked up to Tupac. Family was in the Black Panthers. He looked up to that. And he over here Samboing. I mean, make up your mind. If you bipolar, let us know. I ain't never heard of somebody act like they all hard. Oh, I was a gang member. I was this. I was that. And here you are, simping. Some of the weakest shit you can see a black person do. This fool out here doing it. Record label owner. Basically washing his dishes of people. He out here mixing his shit, moving a fader up and down with a mic in his hand. I'm like, you worked your entire life to get this kind of wealth, and you literally said yes to something like at least have a great production. What we saw was trash. And for trash, you turned in your black card. Is money that important? Yeah, you can't get me to buy jack shit from him. I wouldn't buy a life raft. If a boat was going down, I'm going down with it. I wouldn't buy shit from him. I wouldn't buy oxygen if it was the last breath I had to take. Just wouldn't. How the hell you wish? He ain't even a politician. He going from one side of the spectrum to another. Calling black people Sambos years ago if they were going to support this man. You perform, you were this, you were that. I forgot the exact words. It wasn't Sambo, it was something else. Jigaboo. And then he going to turn around and be the head jigaboo in charge. Nelly too, Soldier Boy. All of them. Simping. Is the money that good? Y'all talking about P. Diddy out here doing some crazy stuff, which he was. These were the people he was hanging with. This has been the problem in Black America. We have supported and uplifted and bought stuff from Black people who don't give a shit about black people. They give more care about money. They're more wealthy than they are black. Just like Lil Wayne. I don't know nothing about no racism. A white guy saved my life one time. Then open your eyes. You see what they've been doing to the rest of us? Is it a me thing or a we thing? Because the moment they turn on your ass, you're going to be looking at black people saying, hey, y'all going to let them do this to me? I thought you didn't see racism, tattooed boy. You don't see it. So why we care when they do something to you? Go back to that dude who saved your life back in the day, came in the hood and helped out one black person. While all these homies you don't been with, hugged and kissed and been friends with, going to jail, getting harmed, they aren't bad cops. Yet though you spent millions of dollars to get a pardon from this man because you were doing something illegal and he let you go. But the people who got you, you didn't have a problem with that because you can buy your way out of it. But what about the brothers and sisters who can't? This is a problem. We think they're for us because they look like us. They're not. They're not. They don't care about us. They care about their bank account. The moment one of them goes broke, they're going to be black again. That black's going to show up strong. And because black people are welcoming, come on back in, grab yourself, get something to eat, relax. We'll welcome you back. The hell if I will. You're either for us or against us. There ain't no in between. You're either active or inactive. There is no in between. You either want progress or regress. There is no in between. But we keep giving each other breaks. Oh, maybe he did this and maybe he did. You hear all these simping brothers out here talking about, well, it's just politics. Shut your ass up. Just politics. You know what was politics? Just politics? Was slavery politics? Yeah. But it was just politics. Was redlining politics? Yeah. But it was just politics, my black brother. It ain't that bad. Was having breeding houses for black women to have more babies so that they can have more money to be able to take care of them and their families politics? Yes, it was. My dear brother who said, it's just politics. That was one of Kevin Hart's boys that said that. One of the Red Cup boys said that shit. It's just politics with a bunch of laughter after. It ain't funny, my nigga. It's not funny. Take that joke shit somewhere else. Ain't nobody trying to laugh about shit like this. Ha ha. It's crazy. They get Save Wit, like Save Wit said, egg prices have doubled. I ain't even gonna lie. Egg prices have went sky high. I literally went to go look at eggs today because I was at the store. And I said, I wonder how much egg prices are. Didn't need them from there. And I went, and this wasn't like no really expensive, like, a grocery store. These are regular prices. You could have got eggs before the pandemic there for like $3.99, $6.99 when it started getting kind of high. For the eggs that weren't even organic, just running the boat, regular ass eggs. I'm in California, by the way. $15.99. I was like, what? it'd be cheaper to buy chicken. $15.99. That was for the cheap eggs. Because they're getting ready for these tariffs to price gouge you even more. We told y'all. Like I told y'all, I am done, and no disrespect, I am done with the IPOC. I'm done with it. Done with the IPOC. I'm going straight for black because 80% or more of black people knew what the hell was going on. 92% of our black women knew what the hell was going on. The rest of the fucking country had no freaking clue and was saying fuck you when we was telling you, oh, there's an alarm going off over here. The shit's going to get worse. Come on, listen to us, listen to us. I've been doing content for 5 years and 2 years on this and years before when Donald Trump was president on that. I've spent years screaming into the void. What the hell is going on? And 60% of white men and white women, poorly educated, were moaning and groaning about egg prices. And since Trump's talking about doing something, then say, it's going to be hard to bring down egg prices. And then his little robotic man, it's going to get worse. And this is Elon Musk. It's going to get worse for y'all before it gets better. Well, no shit. Ain't that what black people were saying? But you didn't listen to a rich white man told you, who lied to you until the man won, and then told you the black truth. What black people have been saying the entire time. The entire time we've been screaming at the top of our lungs, this is what's going to happen. Nobody listened. A small percentage of you did the right thing. Black people did the right thing. And now, what? People out here crying, talking about going on to the Chinese app. What do you mean? You spend 20% of your income on housing and this and food. We don't do that. And we live a better life than y'all. Trump and y'all racist white people talk all this shit about immigrants and this, that, and the third. While you sitting here spending all your money on a living spot and your house is trash compared to mine and I spend 1/15 of what you spend. Yeah, turns out you're the shithole country. It took you having to go to a Chinese app for a hot second to find out how bad it was. And all these white women, mostly I saw, crying and shit. I work my ass off and I do this and that and I can't afford to put my kids here and there. And like all the time, black people screaming from the top of their fucking lungs. Hey, that's what's happening. We've been telling y'all. It's insane how many times we got to scream into the void and y'all don't hear it until the shit bites you. We're like, yo, there's a bear right there. Say what? There's a bear. Don't move. White person over here telling you, ain't no bear. Ain't no bear. Chill out. Like, there's a bear. Don't move. And y'all listen to these racist ass white people. There's no bear. Not until the damn thing bites you do you understand we've been telling you the truth the whole damn time. You couldn't turn around and look. You couldn't open a fucking book. Project 2025 was there for you to read. And now you're bitching and moaning. What's this Project 25 thing? I can't afford my bills and Chinese people can have homes and everything. And are you fucking kidding me? We've been screaming it. I've been telling you, black people, because I'm focusing on black folks, because they're the only ones listening. We just need some action. I do something called Black Unity, BLVCK, unity.com. You can go check it out. We got a segment called Be Heard. So you go to Black Unity, you sign up for Black people only, and we talk about the issues that face Black America. Ain't nobody else listening. I'm tired of educating people who half listening and doing no acting. Even Black folks, if you ain't ready to act, stay the hell away from me. I mean, far away from me. You're more of a pain than you are a solution. You're more of a problem than you are a solution. I'd rather you stay clear away from Black folk who are trying their damnedest to make it right, because you're holding us back. We need to cut you loose. You're the fat we need to let go of. Black people that are ready to move forward without having all the trash in your face, all the drama. You know that 96% of Black people will never commit a crime. Yet all we hear about is the 4% of Black people. That's all we hear about. Snoop Dogg and all them, they 4%. Ones committing crimes and having cases on them and stuff, 4%. Not only do we talk about them, we applaud them somehow when they get out of the communities that they're in by killing some of us and getting ahead. Selling our people all kinds of drugs and shit, robbing us. Then they win, and we all like, oh, 50 Cent. Oh, they criminals. 96% of us will never commit a crime. And most of us are broke. We've made the worst of us wealthy. Toxic. Black people, we celebrate. Always tearing people down. 50 Cent tearing people down every 5 seconds. Y'all like that shit. I think it's trash. Hope he hears it. He's not the best of us. He's the worst of us. We've celebrated and pushed these people up to a level of Martin Luther King. They ain't worth the gum on his shoe when he was shot dead. Tired of be celebrating all these people who can jump high and run and do all that shit. But the people who are literally trying to lift the community, y'all don't pay no attention to them. Y'all too stuck on these fools being able to jump high. Ain't did shit for the Black community but be Black. Ain't got a plan for the Black community. Ain't investing no money in the Black community. And I ain't talking about poor people. There are many Black people out here that are brilliant. Got ideas for businesses. Do you hear of any of these Black people we've been giving money for years going back into the communities and investing $1 million in somebody who has an app or a plan or something? No. They're always asking you to get close as you can to racists to give them money so that they can be able to make a movie, do some kind of TV show, get a shoe deal. That's a me mentality. Where's the we? Where's the we? Invest in this, invest in that. How's it helping the Black community? It's not. It's helping me. Okay, great. That's wonderful. Check how other cultures are moving. Cultures as immigrants have come from other countries to this one and have surpassed Black people and then tell Black people, what are y'all waiting on? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I'm like, they're willing to give you a loan. We've been here the whole time. We've been bypassed for them. It ain't because we don't have great credit. I know many of business people have excellent credit, still can't get a bank loan to buy product that's already sold that will bring in more money than they're trying to borrow. They can't get the loan, and they've already proven themselves. This is not the minority of us. This is the majority of us. See, that's a division. We've been here the longest time. You figure we'd be ahead, but no, they've held us back by not allowing us to live in certain places, not allowing us to have property in certain places, not allowing us to build certain wealth in certain places, building, not even putting banks in our communities, creating these things, these check cashing loan places. For what? so they can take a piece of your income because the bank is 40 freaking miles away. And they wouldn't allow a lot of these black people to be a part of the bank, to get them accounts. So they had to go somewhere at a place that they created specifically for black people in poor communities so that it can take a piece of their income and keep them poor forever. Strategies have been out there for centuries. And we keep on shucking and jiving, trying to be equal and try to have this, I want equality. This shit ain't going to happen. You think they're just going to get all like, oh, you know what? You do need equality. Okay, let's help you. For the 10 that want to do that, there's 10 million that'll say, the hell with you. And we keep fighting uphill. We got 10, we got 12 next week. We got 15 next week. The hell you doing? You got 47 million black people. 10% of us did something. We can get up out of this. But no, you're complacent. You listen to them. The moment you try and do something for black people, they want to call you racist and segmented and this, that, and the other, and something's wrong with you. Then if you don't do the homework, you'll start believing that crap. Do you know there are firms that will literally only invest in Jewish people? Do you hear them trying to sue them to stop that? There are firms that will invest 100% of their money into Latin people. Do you see the courts trying to stop that? Asian firms, same thing. Not trying to stop it. White firms, because of the racism in this country, have been sued in the past because it was only white people they was investing in. So they take a little chunk of it and put it for people of color, including black. We get less than 1%. Asian people get anywhere between 3 to 4%. Latin people get around 2%, twice as much as black. White people get around 90 to 92%. And then they tell you, you just don't do well in this area. Stick to entertainment and sports. Business, technology is not your thing. They believe that. It's not true. It's just that they want to invest in you so you don't see the brilliance in black people in that area. It's the same thing that happened to us, basketball, everything. When they said we couldn't play basketball or football, then we got the opportunity. Do you see a bunch of white people in basketball that are like the 50th greatest players ever? Not many. Do you see when you watch the sport, majority white people? It used to be an all-white sport. Once black people got into it, they don't want to see them. They want to see us because we excel. Same thing with business. They keep telling you that, you're not good in tech. You see any tech billionaires? No, you don't. Because they will invest hundreds of millions of dollars into a mediocre white boy before they invest $1 million into an excellent black guy or woman. If we don't take control of that narrative, then it becomes true. Black people have to figure that out. Instead of waiting on them, we need to come together and do it ourselves. And I'm not one to even say that, that should be on the average white person's mind. They're taking care of them and theirs. So be it. I know that black people can do it. We're estimated to spend over $2.2 billion. Black people. You put your money where your mouth is, or your money where your complaints are, you can make change. But we're too busy trying to fit in. We're too busy trying to be their best friends. We're too busy trying to be accepted. Too busy trying to figure out why they don't like us. Too busy finding out what it is that we did wrong. We didn't do anything wrong, by the way. We're too busy trying to figure it out. So much so we're not even focused on unifying and solving the problem. We rather bitch and moan and let the problem fester. It's a cancer. and we're treating it with aspirin. I don't see how we can win if we never fight. If you got your hands down, you're going to get your ass beat. And we got caught with our hands down. What you going to do? You're going to put your fist up and fight? And I ain't talking about physical fight. Use the brilliance that's within our community. Use the strategies in which I'm trying to implement for black folk. And you can win this. I ain't talking about beating nobody else. I'm talking about lifting us. You see, I'm of the mindset of doing the homework. When you look at Martin Luther King and what he did, it was brilliant. Now, at the time, most people didn't necessarily believe it was brilliant. His strategy was one of what America saw, what America believed, and taught the entire world about black folk and the reality that black folks were living in. He saw that Malcolm X's way of doing things would prove to white America and all the races that we were the animal, that we were the aggressor. And he realized the strategy of doing that was going to be a loss. It would be a justification to unalive us on sight. So his strategy worked better because he thought of the enemy and how the enemy thought. He understood what would make the enemy change. And what would make them change was to be able to hold a mirror up to their evils, to show the world that racist white people were the animals. They were the thugs. They were the killers. They were the rapists. They were all the ills it was trying to push onto us. And how do you show that? God-fearing people walking on bridges, locked in arms, singing the gospel. See, he tried his best to make it seem to everybody these black people are church-going folk. They're singing churches of God. Hymns from God. Nobody should harm them. They're just peacefully walking. And then the animals showed up in white skin with their dogs and batons and beat the living daylights out of black people in their Sunday's best, doing nothing but singing God's hymn. And who looked like the animal? To the entire world, white folks did. So the entire world saw it and came to our aid, recognizing that white people were the enemy, white people were the thugs, white people were the killers and beaters and rapists and all the ills that they was trying to push on black folk. They proved it. The world saw it. And so America had to bend to help these black people because the world was seeing them as the worst on the planet and not black folks. White people came from all over the world to march alongside Martin Luther King. Many of them were harmed. Some of them were also killed by these thugs in white skin. And the world started to shift because what he did was put a light up to who they really were and not who they were promoting themselves to be. That's why today they don't want you to know the history of white folks in this country, because you will see a demon and not a godly person. You'll see evil and not heaven. You will see hell in white skin. They don't want their kids to see that. But they don't want to stop being that. They just want to put it out there that we're different than them. How so? We hide it better. We call it something else. And because people want to stay in power, they accept it. You know how many times white people have come up with a term that means the N-word? When I grew up, it was called busing. That means we're going to harm more black people than we're going to harm white people. So, yeah. Before that, it was the N-word. They used to say it open and freely. With each generation, these racists have tried to morph their racism into other terms that people take in, and somehow they get black folks to re-utter those words. Woke is the new N-word. Has been for a little while. No matter how many times black people try to explain what it is, white people, even ones who say they aren't racist, say the word because it means to them anything that liberals want is woke. They don't even recognize they're saying woke is Jesus. Yeah. But they think of Jesus as the N-word. Don't believe me? Let me explain it to you. Jesus was outside of the norm. He wasn't the rich class, correct? He was the one hanging out with the lepers and the homeless people and the prostitutes and washing the feet of people who was poor and putting ears back on. He hung around with the shady crowd because they needed him more than these people who thought they were holier than thou. So being like that, him going to help them is more like Christ-like. Do you ever hear Republicans, racist white people trying to go help other people like Jesus Christ did? No, you don't. You don't hear that shit. They're always wanting to take away funds. Entitlement is what they call. They've turned doing right by your neighbors, one of the 10 commandments, do unto others as you would want done unto you. What? They turned that into a devilish thing. That's one of their mottos. You can do it yourself. I did it. No, you didn't. All of us needed help. But some of us get to a certain place and forget it and act like they did it by themselves. The ego will have you believing you did everything by yourself when you did not. Always characterizing people in a certain negative light to push themselves up. Never want to help anybody unless they're going to receive something. And be the first to judge somebody else and get mad when you judge them with facts. Hypocrites, non-Christians, but will carry around a Bible and rehearse a verse in a heartbeat and don't mean none of it. It's used as a tool to control those people who live by those words to do what the devil wants them to do. People coming in this country, immigrants looking for a better place, coming away from people who are trying to harm them and their children and their babies. You look at them as the other. Jesus would have looked at them as a brother. And you call yourself Christian. It's crazy. The most non-Christian screaming about Christianity. Talking about others. You know, back then, they thought of the others. When Jesus Christ was around, based on the Bible, they thought of the others as people who weren't even worthy of their time. Yet Jesus had time for those that the average person didn't believe was even human. How can you scream the name of God and Jesus and do the work of the devil? Talking about unaliving people because they don't think like you. That was Mark Robinson. Also another white pastor. That was a black pastor. This is a white pastor. I think he was in North Carolina. Somebody goes, a white pastor said something else in a different state. Said that to be able to stop women from being, liberal and talking all this woke shit, I know what to stop him. Said this in front of a church of people. He is supposed to be an arbiter. He's supposed to be the conduit from God. Jesus. He is on that pew, on that pulpit. He's talking to the congregation. He's supposed to be a man of God. He's trying to tell what black churches should do. Just the mere fact that there's such thing as a black church tells you that racism is afoot. Because why would black and white people have to have separate churches if it wasn't for racism, the sin? Another white pastor told his congregation, any of y'all Democrats or liberals, you can get the hell out. Did Jesus say that about those who weren't holy? Those who weren't trying to seek the criminals? He literally said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, when they crucified him for no good reason. And these people think they are the followers of Christ. They are the people of the mindset that crucified Christ. You're not like Christ. You're like the people who unalived him. Because he would have forgiven people for what they did. You want to kick them out. You want to harm them. You want to label them something. Judge thee, judge not, lest ye be judged. You guys got a Bible you don't even live by. To you, that thing is a tool for making people do shit. You don't live by it. You control by it. If you believed in it, you'd be a better person. Judging people. And then want everybody else to not judge. This white pastor literally said, you know how you get these women to stop being, talking about all this stuff? You unalive 2 or 3 of them, and they'll stop this woke trash. In the church, filled, mega church size. They should have mass walked out. They stayed and clapped. Those are not Christians. Those are demons. You can't listen to the devil standing up in a church of God and not walk out and rebuke it. Then you become it. God and Jesus is nothing of what these people are talking about. Yet you elected the people who are these demons inside of churches talking about Trump. It's like the second coming. That's sacrilegious. It's just insane how people are trying their best to use church, Christ and God, to do evil work and tell you loving thy neighbor is the work of the devil. Treating others like you want to be treated is the work of the devil. Somehow they're closer to Christ by telling you to leave those people alone. Cast them away. I don't know about you. I'm no longer a Christian. I believe in God. Ain't none of the shit they talking about God-like. That is the devil reincarnated. Learn your history. Slavery started because of Christianity and racist people. They went to the churches and they started speaking nonsense to a bunch of white people who started to believe the African in which they loved at one point, they hated, that they needed God for some reason because they weren't in their church, that they were sinners and needed their help. We didn't never need your help. You needed ours. You didn't know how to bathe then. You damn know how to damn sure don't know how to bathe now. You see how many white people on this damn app talking about, I only bathe once a week. I wash my hair once a month. You dirty ass human being. I don't use washcloths. I just wipe with my hand. Do you use toilet paper? You do that with your hand too? It's the sickest shit you ever heard, and they sound like they're better than everybody by doing the dirtiest and nastiest shit you can think a human being could do and brag about it. We didn't wash our kids' hair until they was 3. You meant that nappy-head child, white child, didn't have his hair washed for that long? Did you not think they were funky? Because they were. Back then, we knew better. Right now, we know better. I'm tired of knowing better, black folks, and not using this brilliance to take black folks to another level. Are you ready to move to another level? Or are you happy being in last place? blackunity.com. BLVCK. Unity.com. Write it down. Type it in. BLVCK. Unity.com. If you're ready, let's do the damn thing. If you're happy with where you are, then stay where you are. It's just insane. The solutions, now that I don't complain, the solution, because I complain and then I try and find solutions for it. The solutions, black folks, for the issues that we face is through technology. You're going to have to go to blackunity.com, sign up, get ready for the Zoom meeting that's going to happen on the 25th of this month, this next Saturday. And we'll talk about the solution which I, as multiple, am implementing for black folks. We need to raise money to do so. You can wait till you learn more about it, or you can go to Black Unity right now, donate. You can also go for security reasons. I'm building apps for every problem we have. Black folks, aren't you tired of teaching your kids? And if you have little ones, thinking about in the future, how you're going to have to teach your kids how to act around white people because you don't know which one's racist and which one's not. You don't know if that officer is going to pull you over and just say, have a nice day, sir. Or he's going to pull you over and shoot your child. There's an app right now I'm building for that. And I know you're probably like, how can an app help? Trust me. Just trust me. You got to think about solutions from their perspective. What are they willing to lose and what they don't want to ever lose? They have no problem taking a risk and unaliving one of us because they hide behind a shield often. That shield could be whiteness. That shield could be a place of power. And if an app can be a provider to help you in that gap, whereas everything you need to sue these people for everything they ever owned would be provided via app, via AI, via third-party services, and all kinds of things that's included in this app. When they start to lose everything they own because of their racism, they won't quit because they don't like racism. Oh, no, they love that. They're going to quit because they think they're losing everything they ever had built for their families. The incentive is to attack them where it hurts, not to get them to be kumbaya people. I'm tired of telling racists not to be racist. That ain't going to work. Even white people, good white people, trying to get their aunts and uncles and brothers and sisters not be racist, it ain't going to work. That hate is built in. But you know what will hurt? When they start losing these lawsuits, when there's a resource that they can be able to sue easily, when these cops and these racists start pulling you over, and these Kens, when they start losing not only their jobs, but their livelihood, yep, they're going to change. You got to go to blackunity.com, sign up, and you'll see how we do that. We're working on it. So you can look at Atavi, A-I, it's I-T-A-H-V-I. I'll put it in the chat. ITAHVI. Oops, it won't let me type it in. My keyboard's tripping. Bless you. ITAHVI. I'll put it in the chat in a second once my computer sets up. That's it right there. ITAH, Tavi. And the other one is blackunity.com. That's how it's spelled. Those two. Exactly, Vera. You hurt their pockets? That's what's going to get them to change. Kumbayaing and all these other things, it hasn't happened for 400 years. It's about time we try something new. And no disrespect, I'm tired of all these, apps and things that just do a little bit, may help in this area. No, this is all encompassed. The way I see this app working is you won't have to tell your kids anything. No matter where they go, they're protected. No matter where they are, if they have problems, you not only will be there, other resources will be there when those problems happen. Whether it's a Karen, whether it's a racist person at school or at work or police officer, somebody else of power, a judge, whatever it may be. You'll have access to your child, your husband, your son, your wife. They'll never be alone. And not only that, they'll be empowered when they are alone. When these racists start to feel the pain and the heat from acting on their racism, you can pull up in your Ferrari to help them lose everything. Or better yet, come pick up the keys to the house. Because they're going to start losing. Because people, this is one thing a friend of mine said. He goes, you can't sue an officer. That's bullshit. You can. They got most Americans believing that crap. Black Americans. I'm pretty sure white people don't believe that. But most black Americans will say that. You can't sue an officer. Yeah, you can. If they break the law, oh, yes, you can. They hide behind this immunity thing. No, that's if they have fear of something happening to them and they ended up unaliving you. Part of that is immunity, but you can still go to jail now. There's more out there. And we've been consulting with lawyers and the structure of things. Yeah. See, the part of the reason why, and think about this for a hot second. People like Snoop Dogg and all of them, they don't get pulled over as often. Not to say they're not going to. They don't get pulled over as often. And their celebrity protects them. And you got to understand why. Because the money outweighs their blackness. Now, I told y'all about unifying. When these officers start acting a certain way, and there's an app to automatically be funded to sue their asses. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Shit'll change. When they start seeing millions of black people putting $10 in and there's enough funds to sue that ass until kingdom come, yeah, they'll stop. They will stop. Or get fired, pushed out, because people are going to get tired of paying. See, a lot of times what happens is that black folks just let it go. You don't have the resources to do certain things. But if you were a Snoop Dogg or any rich black person, you have enough funds to put some heat on people that they won't mess with you. When you're driving as a black person in a Ferrari or a Maserati, cops ain't going to pull you over as much. You would think it would be, oh, they're going to be, nope. They know if you can afford that car, you can afford to sue their ass. So they mess with the poor black people, poor people, middle class that may or may not have something. But if you rich and connected, they think twice and three times before they mess with you. This app will give you that type of protection. Every black person will be seen as basically a rich person that could sue their ass off. And they don't need to be rich. They got black folks on their side. They got a business that makes millions, if not billions of dollars a year. And part of that is going to be a lawsuit wing where we're going to be helping you guys sue the living daylights out of every racist, every cop, every last one of them will feel the wrath of apathy. Fuck trying to be friends. Fuck trying to get you to like me. I'm going to sue your ass. I'm going to sue the racism out your ass. When black folks start taking your homes away, you'll wake your ass up. You'll wake your ass up. I'll find your ass on the street. Think I was playing? I'm not. For me, I'm tired of asking. I'm tired of begging. I'm taking it. I'm taking it by force. That's technology wise. I ain't even going to break a fingernail taking everything you worked your life for if you fuck with me and mine. And when I say me and mine, I ain't talking just about my children. Anybody that lives in my skin. If you black, we got your back. I'm tired of waiting on folks to kumbaya this thing. It's time for people to pay heavily. Tavi.com. Put your email in. We're going to have meetings about this. You can go to my GoFundMe on there. We're raising money, $18,000 for that one. And then the other one, Black Dollar Fund, or not Black Dollar Fund, that's my business. The other one that we're working on, blackunity.com, that one we're raising over $500,000 because that's a whole social media platform just for black folk. Yeah, I ain't playing. Thank you, Cynthia. I ain't playing. I'm done. I'm tired of talking about it. That's why it's hard to go live or come on these apps. I see my brothers and sisters who are doing content creation. If you've been following me for a minute, you know I did, straight facts, no chaser, F your feelings. And also, Trump whisperer translating stupid and making jokes and, laughing about the craziness. I've been working in the background on all this stuff. And I realized there's no more joking. There's no more trying to kumbaya this shit. There's no more like trying to be friends with those and educating those who don't really want to learn. They just want to pacify us. 80% of black men get it, that vote. 92% of black women that vote got it. Now what you gonna do about it? Continue talking and expecting something to change, or are you gonna be a part of the change? I'm a part of the change. I'm using my gift to create. I'm using my gift to build. I'm using my gift to have solutions. I need your help in the process. We're going to be looking for different positions for people. It will be stock because, again, I'm not taking money from millionaires. This is a we the people thing. We the black people for what we need in life. I'm not looking for rich black people to be putting in millions of dollars, talking about they own part of this and that and the third. I ain't got time for that shit. If you ain't down for black folks, stay the hell away from me. Unfollow me, leave me. I do not need you in my life. I only need black folks that are ready to do something. If you're ready to sit and live in this squalor for the rest of your life and your grandkids' life and your great-grandkids' life, get the fuck away from me. I ain't got time for it. Go wait for them to turn you back into a slave. All right, Joseph, hit me up. Go to atavi.com. Hit me up there. Also sign up for blackunity.com. They're two different things. Black Unity, they're not really two different things. Black Unity is the entire encompass of black people coming together on a unified tip. We're not all the same. We're not a monolith, but we have some of the same issues. And so when we go into this black space, it's so that we can speak freely, say what we need to say. I mean, no matter what, whether you have some ill will or something great to say, whatever it may be, it's like therapy with us so that we can really know what black people want and not take it for granted that we all want the same thing. And then we can agree on some things, agree to disagree on others, and then start creating solutions and strategies no matter where you live. You live in this black skin. I don't care about what street you live on, what city you live in. You live in black skin. And until you start to just whittle it down to that and stop dividing yourself on religion and all this other shit, I don't care who you marry. I don't care if you got mixed children. I got mixed children. I don't care nothing about that shit. You live in black skin. I'm trying to get it so that we can win. I give a shit about everything else. I don't care about your religion or non-religion. Nobody looks at your religion. Nobody looks at your job position. When our kids are in harm's way, it ain't about where they worship. It's about the skin they live in. And until you break it down to that simplicity, we're going to have problems unifying. So that's what I do. I break it down to the simplistic thing. If you're living in my skin and you want to help out black folk, then you in. And we can use that energy to win. I'm tired of losing. And I ain't investing no more of my time into people who just don't get it. It's a waste of my energy. No matter what race you are, I don't want to talk to you if you don't get it. There ain't no time to talk to people to bring them along and get them up to speed. Read a book. Get a black friend. I am not the one. I am the one that wants to move forward, not be held back with a bunch of questions. How are we going to solve this shit? Let's go. So that's what we do. Half native. I don't know, Firefrost. I don't know what that means, half native. Indigenous black folks. I don't know. You just have to figure that out. You can hit me up and we can chat about it. Thank you, Socially Conscious. I appreciate you. I got you, Joseph. I'm going to be looking for people in tech that know how to do certain things, and in marketing and all those different things. It's about equity because we don't have money. You see me raising money. I see people raising millions of dollars for just apps to just talk and shit. I'm talking about solutions. I'm talking about unification. It's bigger than just posting a video about what the hell you ate. This is my vision. I don't have a logo. Let me see if I can get my logo to put up. I don't know how a logo for Atavi is pretty dope. At least for me, I think it's dope. I don't know what y'all think, but it is what it is. It's a lion, king. See if I can put this up here. Can I save it in here? I'll be messing up stuff. It's gonna go black here in a second. Let me see. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I'll put it. Oh, wait a minute. You can see it by going to atavi.com. Atavi.com, and you'll see the logo. The lion, the girl. There's a video on there that I shot, that I edited, that you can see. So go to atavi.com and watch that. But it's a passion that I have to finally have solutions. I am a hyper solution person. I can listen to you for a hot second, come up with a solution. I'm like, what we doing? What we doing? Let's move. I ain't got time for people who just want to relish and just thoughts about it, thinking about it. The hell with that. Let's move. People who don't like you, these races, these people who don't even like women, no matter what race you are, they are organizing. How do you think Roe versus Wade got overturned? They can't stand women. They want you to have babies no matter what. y'all remember, if you didn't hear me before or didn't see it online, there was literally another white guy at some, I don't know if it was Minnesota or somewhere. He was in some kind of state house or something. This man's up on the mic. I don't know if he was a senator or what the hell he was from that state. And he's standing there talking to the people. And he said, let me get this right before I mess it up. Oh, these young women getting pregnant instead of abortion. These young, ripe, and fertile young women rather, before getting an abortion, why don't they marry the father of the baby? I'm like, what the fuck did he just say? That came out of his mouth, and nobody attacked him. He had a few boos, but this man kept talking after saying that. I'm like, he said what? If somebody said that in the community that I was raised in when I grew up, it would have been at least 7, 8, 15 people would have jumped him. The fuck you talking about? This man literally said, a girl who was raped, in this rap you can say rape, I think, raped by a man, not a boy, a man. He's talking about 10, 12, 14-year-olds, and got pregnant. It'd be better for her to marry her rapist than to have an abortion, because they were ripe and fertile. He talked about her like young women like they were fruit. You can't like women talking like that. You didn't say castrate the man. You trying to figure out how you can keep this man raping this child, producing babies. Who says this shit? Don't believe me? Go look it up on YouTube. I promise you somewhere you probably say ripe and fertile. Keep the baby. You probably find it. You would have thought this man was speaking maybe at some kind of pedo convention, but this is the regular ass fucking like house in their state. Government shit. I don't get it, yo. Where are we living in? What world is this? These psychos are out here getting credibility. We used to look at them and say they need to have a padded room. These are norm now. Nut jobs in places of power, positions of power. Saying the most craziest shit and somehow it's normalized. What next? If it's gotten this bad, 5 years from now, oh my God. We're only like 5 steps ahead of a caveman at this point. You're going to knock girls in the head and take them to a cave. Fucking crazy. Right? Beyond extinction, she said, as a woman, I've lived that reality and caught hell for defying their insanity. I believe you. Just look at the world. And it's been getting worse. And somehow they think it's better. Search ripe and fertile. I'm serious. It's insane. I would think this shit was a sketch, that it was some kind of comedy show that was kind of dark. This shit's real. This shit's real, y'all. These people are saying this shit in real time, real life. It's not a comedy. It's not a dark humor like drama. Real life shit. People in position of power are saying these things openly. And they're worried about trans women going into bathrooms. When you got open pedophiles talking about keep the babies. In Tennessee now, Firefrost says they're saying that shit right now out in the open where I live in Tennessee now. They have no fear being called to account. It's disgusting. I'm telling you, it's all over the world right now. Well, United States, I don't know about world, all over the United States now. We're putting these whack jobs in power. Again, these people 20 years ago would be investigated. If you can say these things out in the open, I would be checking on this man to see if anybody in his neighborhood goes to his church, if he has little children, if the neighbors come over and spend the night. I would be on the watch for this man. Because you can't say something like that and not have that in your spirit. There is probably some child holding his baby right now because he said that with conviction. And there's no investigation on this man. Who talks like that, ladies and gentlemen? Anybody in your community that talks like that, you need to have a watchful eye on them. Do a background check. Because something ain't right. I would have never came across that thought in my head in my life. He not only had it in his head, he said, I'm going to tell the world. And thought it was okay. If you can justify those words, you can justify those actions. Just a thought. Knuckles break easy. We need to put our courage feed on and stand up loud and clear. I'm telling you, that's what I'm doing. We're talking, like, again, I'm not one that's going to say, you know, the last resort is to really fight. The first resort is to use the strategies, our brain, our brilliance, to be able to get what we want. We really haven't tried that yet. Many of our brothers and sisters, you really got to study our history in this country to understand where we've been, where we want to go, and then we got to think about strategies in which to get there. An actual structure. I know many of my black people, we're not a monolith, but many of us, especially the older ones of us, were thinking, okay, this George Floyd thing, everybody's like up in arms, everybody's upset, and, you know, Black Lives Matter, and we're doing all these things, and we're marching all over the place, and they want to have police reform and all these different things. And it's like, we feel like we're moving, and then the shit died because we had no other structure. All we had was what Martin Luther King went up to. And if the president didn't feel any shame or anything like that, we had no leverage. We couldn't get anything passed. We had Donald Trump, who had no shame, didn't care about, you know, structure and what people thought about him. So none of that even went nowhere near as close as what Martin Luther King did, because we didn't have any leverage to make them look bad for what they were doing. In fact, they turned it on us and tried to make it seem like we were the ones who started the fires during these Black Lives Matter protests. When in reality, it was white people starting these things. Some of them got arrested. When you go back and look and see who started this fire and that started that fire at the restaurant, white people. People writing all over the walls, white people. Looting, that was everybody. Black people was in on that. And these people who did it weren't a part of Black Lives Matter at all. So much so they got black people. Again, the structure and the strategy is to get the majority of people via money, via infiltration, to hate on the most hated culture, and then start to break down anything they say as a lie. Therefore, nobody believes us, even some of our own black people. When you go back and look at Black Lives Matter, they did more for us than against us And we, as some of us, not all of us, black people, helped these racist white people defeat everything we was trying to do. That takes some serious mental gymnastics, some 4-degree chess on us. Because when we start a plan, all we got is that plan. And that is, let's march, let's do this. What are we going to do after that? Well, let's just march first. But we got any plan after that? March. That what Martin Luther King did? Yeah, but he had a strategy to actually have leverage. He thought this shit out. What are we doing? Emotion? We're just going off emotion? Okay, but do we have a plan? No. Okay. So we're going to be okay when this just fizzles out and we have nothing to do but just continue bitching and moaning about the same thing and no solution. That's what happened. You know how many black people got issues with Black Lives Matter? You know how many black people actually study what the hell happened? Just like they did with Martin Luther King. People don't understand. Martin Luther King was hated when he was alive. They couldn't stand him. FBI was looking at him. They was doing everything like they did with Black Lives Matter to tear down the cause that was actually working. Martin Luther King was light years ahead of them on that. No matter how many times they researched him and tried to find something, if they find something, it wouldn't stick. Because they were playing chess too. They had strategy and they had plans. That's why it was actually done. That's why it was signed into law. The leverage of making white folks look like demons to the rest of the world. They one-upped them. And ever since then, we keep trying the same thing, but they already got that playbook. They've already looked at where they got leverage at when this thing ends. Oh, they have none. Let them fight. Let them have fun. We'll just blame them for everything. And lo and behold, they did. But if you have a strategy before you go into it, they're light years behind you when you make your next move. We got to think, brothers and sisters. We got to think, not just react. Think. These strategies that I'm putting forth will put us light years ahead of their racism. Light years ahead of it. And with the advent of AI, it might put us generations ahead of their strategy. You got to think like the enemy to defeat the enemy. You got to know what you can leverage from the enemy. And if you don't know how they think and you don't pay attention to how they move, you can't leverage shit because you don't know what they care about. And if you don't do that research, you end up losing every time. I knew Black Lives Matter and this movement was going to turn into absolutely nothing because we had no strategy. We talked about defunding the police. Well, guess what? What my app does is exactly what they want with defunding the police. But it's forcing them to change because I'm going to end up taking everything they love and dear away from they love dearly away from them. The moolah. Take away the money, you take away the power. And you can't do that unless you have solid evidence. And will we lose sometimes? Yes, but we will win sometimes too. And we start putting our money where our mouth is, we'll start winning more and more. And when they start losing, they'll start changing. No more kumbaya, people. It's time to execute. You go to atavi.com. You go to blackunity.com. And black folks, we got to talk about it. Because I don't want to just do stuff for black folks. I want us to be a part of it. I want us to talk about it. Because one thing happens. You really can't have unity with people if you ain't talking to them. So my forum is for us to chat, talk, get to know one another. I don't have to become your best friend. but I can respect you for what you believe and may not believe and listen to what it is you need in your life changed. And as black people, we can help be that change for us. We can't say what other people are going to do, what other cultures are going to do, but we have to come together and figure out what's best for us. Because, like I said, 80% of us voted for what we knew to be what's best for us and for other people. We saw what these white people voted for, and then all of a sudden turn around. But what these Palestinians voted for, and then turn around. He's going to do this. And what these people are talking about, oh, eggs and that. Eggs is way more than they are now. We saw that shit way beforehand. None of them saw it. Yet they voted against their best interest. And it's our time to say, the hell with that. Keep on trying to figure this shit out on your own. Let's take our brilliance over here and build something that works for us. And in a short time, these racist, poor white people, when they start seeing black people move from being poor to middle class and more of us become wealthy, then the rich white people are going to have to own up that they've been fucking with these white people the entire time. Because they're going to be the ones left behind, not us. We have to rise above that. And the only way we're going to do that is by loving on each other. That's when we leave those people behind and start building for black people to the point where rich white people have to answer to these poor white people who are always misguided and say, how is it these black people getting ahead of us? You got to do something, white racist people. We've been holding the line for y'all for centuries. We've been voting against our own interests because you treat us better than you treat them, even though we're in the same position. You've been giving us loans in the projects. You ain't been giving them shit, so you've been helping us. But once we start helping our own people and start getting our brothers and sisters out the projects, letting them get a home and shit because we done created businesses that are industries that give them money to work for us, living wage fees. Oh, these rich white people going to have to answer to their poor white relatives. Poor white people. Why are we still poor? Oh, because these rich white people never cared about you. And you kept voting with them. They don't believe it. They think we crazy until we prove it. That's when they'll get out of their little racist mindset and start thinking about their pocketbook and what's really in their best interest. But we got to take care of us. Mozzie Cat says, create schools teaching economics. A part of Black Unity is that. We're building a platform that's focused on educating financial literacy, the future, just put it this way, with access to economic centers to teach not only the children but their parents as well. One of the things that you got to always look at the full problem and not just the children. See, the full problem is that people of all ages who are Black were left out in different stages. We got parents and grandparents that never had the opportunity that their white counterparts had, and therefore had to, do whatever they had to do to get ahead. And then you got situations where, Black people have, middle class have had some opportunities, then turn things into better places. But again, they're still behind in knowing about investments or 401ks or, anything that builds wealth, buying properties, real estate. So we're going to be focusing on all ages, from babies to grandmas, educating. We can't wait on the system, because you got to understand something. America's education system, we need to make that our basis, Black folks. That's like, no matter what it is, from kindergarten to master degree in college, we got to treat that as a basic level. Everybody who gets those are starting off on the bottom floor. But Black folks, like I said, with the app that I'm building, your children will be ahead of college students by the time they're in the 8th grade. We want to teach them how to live life in the world they're in, as they're learning in school about the A, B, and the C's, we're going to be teaching them about the X, Y, and the Z's. They're not going to be relied on to learn their stuff by the school and the teachers and the system that they tell us our kids need to learn from. Our kids will be light years ahead of them because they want to regress and take their children back to being dumbasses. Not us. As you can see, they're seeking these people with these visas from other countries because they're smarter than the average American, and bring them over here and make $200,000-$300,000 a year or more. And you can see they're pissed off about that too. But Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy and all them, they don't care. They are them. They're the immigrants that came here and got all these subsidies from the government. Our tax dollars have made them billionaires. And they ain't going to stop that. They thought they would, but they're not. So black folks need to be highly educated as even a child. And I ain't talking about you got to be the best student at this. No, we really have to find our black children at where they at. Some of our black children are good at drawing, and some of them are good at math, and some of them are good at sports, and some of them are good at inventions and science. We need to invest in them at what they're brilliant at so we can extract the brilliance or feed that brilliance during summer school, through our apps, giving them resources, helping them get into certain types of colleges. When we have a system, an economic ecosystem designed specifically to get our black people from zero to hero and not rely on the system, because the system only really wants to help white people. They don't want to help us. And because some of them are in the same area that we're in, they're missing out. That's why you got some white people saying, I grew up poor and I didn't get this. Yeah, I guarantee you live next to black people. You took the brunt of the majority of black people in your particular town and city. They didn't give you these opportunities. So you had to save and do whatever you had to do to get by. So you're that story that they get to rely on and say, you're just like black folks. I went through this. I lived in the same neighborhood. And no, they didn't give your neighborhood resources because you live near black people, because that's all you could afford. But you got it better than the black people in your community. But you still got the brunt of the resources being lacking because of the fact that you live so close to blacks. Look it up. It's history. It's not my words. It's history. Most people don't want to learn history because it's too painful. I speak on it because it's facts. That's who I am, Mr. Straight Facts. I tell it like it is. Whether you like it, love it, hate it, despise it, I can't tell you what you're going to do with these facts. I just tell you the facts. You can go back and look. The suburbs were created for white folks. Black folks couldn't partake legally. They couldn't partake. All white folks could, but not all white folks took the opportunity. See, a lot of people back in the day when they started building the suburbs, a lot of white people were like, I don't want to live there. Now, here's the honest truth about it. Go look it up. When they came back from the war, World War II, around 1945, I think it was, these things were, the government, the housing administration back then paid a lot of land developers. And crazy enough, Donald Trump's father was one of them. Now, Donald Trump's father was mostly into apartments and things of that nature because back then, when it was during the war, that's what mostly people lived in. The white people lived in, everything like that. The suburbs have not been created. They found no value in the suburbs, most white people. So when they came back from the war, they did not like going out in the middle of nowhere. They loved that city life. They loved living in these apartments and nice because they were well taken care of. The government was taking care of it. They did not have to take care of the lawn and all stuff like that. That stuff was taken care of by the government because of the war. There were certain areas not too far away for those apartments as well where black people lived further away from the job site, but the same thing. these apartment housing places that the government took care of. But once they came back from the war, they were basically saying, we're about to give these people a better opportunity. We're going to give them homes and land. You know what I'm saying? Not give. They're going to have to pay anywhere between $4,000 to $8,000 for plots of land. But they were going to build these things. And in the contract to give these housing developers the money to build tens of thousands of homes in one place, which everybody was like, forget that. White people, I don't want that shit. No way. Don't want to do it. Many white people decided not to do it. And they stayed in these apartments, not knowing that the government was going to stop funding it and you were going to have to fund these apartments yourself, meaning taking care of them, all this stuff. Within years, those apartment buildings became trash because the government wasn't taking care of them like they did when white people lived there. So it became the projects. They moved these people out. The white people who stayed became a part of that poor class because they had no idea that the government was going to take away the funds and leave them in squalor because they was treating them like golden before. But they were giving them a warning. Get your ass away from these black folks or you're going to end up being like them. And instead, they were like, oh, we love this life. And the ones who went out to the suburbs, the industries moved closer to their homes. These people had property. Therefore, they ended up having equity. Therefore, they were able to send their kids to college off the equity in their homes and the insurance. This structure was built for them to succeed, and black people in the contracts from the government could not own these homes. And they put into the actual deeds that the white people who bought them, if you ever resell your home, you couldn't sell it to a black person or a black family, nobody black. So for decades upon decades upon decades, there was wealth being built in white communities and suburbs that black folks could not partake. So I say, black folks, if you ain't got your own black back, who's going to have it? And if you focus on the me, how you going to make it out if you don't focus on the we? It's we, the black people, not me, the black person. Together we can win. Divided, we'll lose. It's not even guaranteed that when we come together, we're going to fully win. But if we don't try, we don't have a strategy, we don't have a plan. I can tell you right now, every march from here until the end of time, we're going to lose if we have no strategy for when we get to where we need to implement something. At the height of the pandemic and the Black Lives Matter after George Floyd, at the height of that, we had nothing to say, we want this for that. We want this for that. Nope, that shit went all the way up and fizzled. Because when we got here, we had nothing. We had defund the police. And what did they do? Went straight ape shit, talking about, oh, these people are woke. They're crazy. What are they talking about? And the rest of the world said, yeah, they are kind of crazy. What's going on? They want to actually have the police treat them fairly. Never mind the fact that defunding the police had already happened in small pockets throughout the United States, mostly, if not all, white communities. They defunded their police. They called it defund the police. Do you know what they did? They literally, thank you, Emma, for the gift. Thank you, Benny Loco, for getting Emma Crawford. They literally ended up making this whole thing happen of basically when black people in this town, the white people in this town decided that their police force was not focused on the people in the society. They were focused on like the whole entire like state or whatever it was, large portion. They said, you know what? We need to break this thing off and only fund the community by community or something like that. So they defunded this big conglomerate of police officers and made it so that officers actually took care of certain communities and officers got to know the neighbors within that community. So when they got to know them, they could police people that they knew. And they treated people more fairly, right? And so that's what they did in these smaller communities that by defunding the police. They broke up this big thing and said we need to have it smaller and take control of the funding. And then we have less lawsuits. We have all these things where we care about a community, all that. And it worked overwhelmingly in multiple communities that this was done in. But you didn't hear that. They stoked the fears of black folks changing things, and everybody went loco, even some black people. And I'm like, dude, you don't like the term defund the police, but just check out what they're talking about doing. Nope, don't like it, don't like it. And therefore, nothing was done. Like I said, we can continue marching from here to kingdom come. It's not going to change unless you have a strategy for when the time comes to implement, to leverage. They've already thought before you even start how to devalue your argument. And we keep falling for the same trap. We need a new game plan. I've got one. I've seen Project 2025 has got one, although I don't know exactly what they're trying to do. But for me, it's not about building stores for us to have restaurants and things that we own. Those are businesses. We need to have industries. If you want to know the difference, let's take, for instance, Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana used to be the steel capital of the world, right? At least of the United States. And when they took those industries out of Gary, a lot of poverty happened. And you can only imagine how hard it hit black folks. So much so, when my sister passed away, who lived in Maryville, but, you know, Gary was the area in which the funeral home was at. I sat down with a brother, older brother. I was always taught to respect my elders. And I always listened to my brothers and sisters that are older than me to get wisdom. And he was just sitting there doing his job. And I just sat next to this older man and started talking to him about the community, about his life. And then he started telling me about the community. We went outside. It was cold outside, but we went outside and hung out. And I said, man, what is up with that house over there? The roof was gone. Like a big ass hole was in the roof. And it was cold outside. So I'm like, how the hell does people live in that? He's like, yeah. All these people around here are black and they live in it. And I said, why aren't these kids in school? It's all over the place. So what is school? Is it school break or something? There's only one school. I said, so they got to go get bus further to another school. They missed the bus or something. He's like, no. These kids don't go to school. There's no school for them. I said, so what do? What you see them doing? I like older people. They make it simple. Like, fool, what do you see him doing? He didn't say that. He said, what you see him doing? I see him keep going to cars every once in a while. What do you think that is? Drugs. It's like, yeah. They're making a living the best way they know how. And this state ain't trying to do nothing about it. I said, kids, these black kids aren't being able to go to school because there's no economic base here for that. I said, it's got to be illegal. And this is like 2020, 2021. I'm like, this 2021, I believe. It was the end of 2020, so it was the beginning of 2021, early. And I'm like, or December 2020, actually. And I'm like, no, this can't be the reality. It is. But the industry left and poverty ensued. A lot of it's like a freaking third world country. Do you hear national news talking about America has third world country type states? Nope. So that's why I say we need to build industries, not just businesses. That's where we create the leverage. So we're focused on helping people create businesses, and we're also looking for brothers and sisters that are literally trying to start industries. And when I talk about industries, I'm talking about like automobiles, motorcycles, boats, planes, things that we need, metal, computer chips, things that Americans need. The world needs. We can be selling the same things overseas. Industries where jobs, $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 jobs are being held because of these resources and getting loans, not loans, but contracts from the government and things of that nature. But black people, we can do that. I told you we spend $2.2 trillion. We start focusing just on a small percentage of us, we can start something. Invest in brilliant brothers. Hell, what I'm doing, invest in. That way you can be able to be a part of it when it grows throughout the world. But we're in donation phase now because we got to get this stuff built. Then you can invest. And there's a reason why I'm doing that. See, in America, the rich make the rich wealthier, right? There's a thing where you have to be worth $1 million. Accredited investors have to be worth $1 million and have $250,000 liquid. That's not the majority of black people, not even close. So in order for us to invest in somebody, we got to have that. Now, they have laxed that law a little bit because they have these little financial apps they can invest and so forth. So you buy pieces of stock. That kind of went around this accredited investor situation and allowed these companies to thrive by you investing your change or something like that, like acorns or something of that nature. So you can become a part of this wealth building, but that's minute. You're going to have to invest quarters until you're 357 years old before you actually really have something going on these particular apps. But it's something and not nothing. So in order for you to put in $10,000 or $20,000 into a business without it like being like a crowdfunding app that allows that stuff to happen, and that's a middle person. If you wanted to take $10,000 out of your bank and invest it, let's say, in what I'm doing for black people so that we can progress this thing, you couldn't do it. You just couldn't. Not unless you was a millionaire and had $250,000 cash. You couldn't do it legally, let's just say. So my thing is to always think ahead. Like I said, our strategies have got to be forward thinking. It can't be, we got to be ahead of the game, not behind it. So there's a loophole. That loophole is friends and family. Now, friends is what we become when we know somebody and connect with somebody and you become my friend. Family is somebody pretty much, blood. I raised you. You could be adopted child as a part of my family, whatever. That's family. So those are the only ways you can invest that $10,000. Accredited investor and friends and family. So with what I'm doing with Black Unity is I'm creating a family of friends. And with those friends, you can invest $10,000 in somebody in Black Unity that may have a business that you definitely want to happen. That's among y'all. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Once the social media app is up, that's among black people trying to do black business and trying to become wealthy amongst each other. That's on y'all. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just building a place where y'all can connect. I don't take no piece of it. That's just like y'all just having a good time. Y'all doing y'all thing. But yeah, those are the opportunities that one app will bring. Other apps would be like crowdfunding, where you'll be able to put your stuff up and raise money. And the reason why I say these things, you got to understand something. I create these different platforms because I'm tired of us getting on people's platforms where the people who are making the majority of the money are not black centric. A lot of people say, "Oh, you can go, once I build my crowdfunding, which is named something else, but my crowdfunding, the money in which we get from crowdfunding, like say for instance, crowdfunding works now is, let's say a GoFundMe. You actually say, okay, we're raising $50,000, right? Out of that $50,000, there's this processing fees, you know what I'm saying, the credit card processing fees, and then the app will take anywhere between 5%, some of them are really high, but mostly 5 to 8% they'll take, and you'll receive 92% minus the card processing fee. That's how they usually work. Now, the company itself is making a crap load of money because they got thousands upon thousands of people raising money from $10,000 to $100 million, whatever it may be. So 8% of all these different people is a lot of money. That's an industry, not just a business. And if this business is making hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, just giving you opportunities, then that money, for me, you can't tell me what I'm going to do with my money now. But I'm black centric, which means I'm going to be taking my end and investing it in black folk. We win. Why? Because every other race is investing in their people. It is us that's going out and buying $100,000 watches. It is us going out and buying some gaudy ass necklace. It is us going out and buying $10,000 worth of champagne bottles that you're going to drink and barely get a high off of. But the high is because you can afford this $10,000 bottle of wine or champagne. For me, I want to invest $10,000 into a black child so that I can see them win, or at least attempt to win, and be happy that they learned something even when they lost. Because I know that child is one more step towards success. Give a damn about champagne and wine. I give a damn about yachts. Give a damn about gaudy chains. That same money could go into black lives. We need to make billionaires that think like me. Not like these rich people that just want to buy things. Think about it. The more you help people, the more money will come into your pocket. You'll have more than enough time to buy the things that make you feel happy about yourself. But if you're reinvesting it into black people, I want to see that child smile. They may hear somebody call them the N-word, but they'll see this black man saying, "You are loved." What's on your mind? I got $10,000 that say that you can turn something into gold. Let's go. I'm investing into black lives. Whether I win or lose, I'm investing into black lives. You ain't seeing me invest in nothing else. I ain't investing in no damn Facebook. I ain't investing in no damn Instagram. I'd rather die broke than to buy any of their fucking things. If you ain't for us, you're against us. That's how I have to be. Because I see we ain't getting nowhere just talking. We getting nowhere. And if you ain't sick and tired of getting nowhere, I don't know what to say to you. And it ain't just about you and your family. It's about all black families that are trying to get by and being held back or disrespected or not getting a promotion or not getting an interview because their name is Jamal or Jaquisha. I'm tired of that shit. I'm ready for people to love us for us. Unconditional. You black, I got your back. I'm going to love on you just because of that. Unconditional. All I want, I guess it is conditions. I just want you to try and win. I want you to get fed up of being held back because you're black, and I want you to go out there and win. And I want to build black unity so that you have a village of black people saying, I want you to win. If you see my Tavi.com, you see the lion, there's meaning behind that. Powerful, brilliant, with war paint. Because we're in a war and we're losing. We need to fight back with the brilliance that we were given. We came here, African, and some people are already here, indigenous. We were already brilliant then. They enslaved us and took that away, erased it, eradicated from their perspective, and made them the gold standard that we had to try and be accepted for when they needed us and we didn't need them. So when you start to realize that you are the prize, then you'll start winning. But if you keep on trying to be something that you're not, you're going to stay in the lost column. So who's ready to win? I am. When I'm looking for winners, people who are dedicated, they wake up and see their blackness as a plus and not a minus, as a gift and not a curse. And every day wake up and know I'm a child of God. And whatever I do, this body, I'm doing it because of the gift he put in me. I'm not dying with this. I'm being of service with this. What do you have to offer? Not just to yourself, not to your wife and kids and your mom. What do you have to offer to black folk as a black person? I ain't expecting nothing from nobody else. Not your burden to bear. It's ours. There are solutions. You just got to be passionate enough to want it. And that's why I offer. So if you have questions, hit me up. And I'll provide as many answers as I can. If I don't have the answers, I pray on it. I'll think on it. And sometimes you just got to throw your hands up. But if I don't have it, if we come into communion, talk to one another, become a community, love on each other, somebody in the group is smarter than me, smarter than you, that can provide those answers, those solutions. We don't have to do it alone. It's we, the black people, not me, the black person. That's the way I see it. I see. I left YouTube because my channel was demonetized. That's why I needed my TikTok. I see. TikTok, when it went away, man, it's crazy. Like I said, I got on here because of that today. But I always got to speak on what I'm doing because it's hard by yourself trying to lift up the black community. And ain't nobody asked me to do it. It's on my mind and my heart. So I'm not sitting here just telling you because just for the hell of it. I'm saying it because it's on my heart, my mind since I was 8. So I'm doing God's work, I believe. So, and no, I'm not super religious at all. I'm spiritual. No disrespect to anybody's religion. That's just my journey. I don't push it on nobody else, but I respect everybody else's position on that. It's your journey. 100%. I have a black client who is a millionaire with no pension plan, no investment, but buys and sells expensive cars every single year. He doesn't trust the system to invest in himself. Yep. A lot of people don't see the value in certain things. And I don't, again, everybody has their reason for it. And I would love to speak to that brother to have a conversation on why he thinks the way he thinks. Because that's what I'm doing with this unity thing. Is like, I'm not going to pass judgment. I'd rather you tell me. That way I can better understand it. We always talk past one another, as in black people. We all have the same issues we have to deal with being black. But we're at different levels in life. Some of us don't see the racism, so therefore we think it's not there, think it's hyperbole and all this. If we're not talking, how do we know where our people are at? And if we're not trying to come into some kind of community to unify around issues that we do care about, then how are those issues going to ever get addressed? Can't win if you're divided. Small wins are nice, but we need big wins. And that starts with unification. I know how to get the average person who commutes 12,000 miles or more a year to save over $500,000 over their life just for basic car care. It's one of the biggest money sinks for poor. Okay, Joseph, you have a booklet for that, or you wrote anything down for that? You have a plan or something? You could be able to come to the meetings and let people know about what you're talking about. It's not just advertisement though, bro. You're gonna have to share real shit you're going through. It's not about just pushing product. It's about getting to know black folk and where we stand. And everybody that I've spoken to so far, they got professionalism. You know, they're doing all kinds of things. We got real estate person, we got retired people and all that. But get to know the people and, you know, then you can get to know the product and things you're trying to do. But get to know the people first. And yeah, it's about winning, most definitely. Yeah, I feel sorry for those who was on TikTok and was monetizing the hell out of it, doing the right things and making money. People who got like millions of followers and hundreds of thousands was raking in cash and, you know, paying their bills. It's gonna be tough. And that's the thing though, like I said though, this message literally said that, you know, President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned. I think the way they've been moving and talking, and these rich people have been coming together talking to Donald Trump in Mar-a-Lago, they already got an answer. They're just fucking with you. They're gonna spring it on you like you did something great, but they've been plotting on this since day one. That's my opinion. That's not fact yet. But yeah, I really believe that's the case. They literally put on their message Donald Trump's name. You know how he likes to put his name on shit. So they're catering to him. And I know some people are like, I don't care what he has to do, just bring it back. I'm like, okay. I'm going to trust and believe that when it does come back, and if Trump lets it go back in, that app is going to turn into Twitter Junior. We'll see. They're going to start monitoring and shadow banning everybody that has any thought process outside of the Trump ideation. Your views would be very few and far between unless you do exactly what that algorithm is going to want you to do. And here's the weird thing that has been going on about it is Frank McCourt, I told people earlier, is trying to buy it and he doesn't want the algorithm. So without the algorithm, you really don't have, you know, they don't own it, but will they have the structure of everything? Will they get the updates on everything? Because even with the algorithm is going to give back the data. It really doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand how the algorithm is not going to send back data to China. That's what they're worried about. And I don't know if China really was doing it. Just made a big story and made it up. I don't trust anything they say. But the reality is that the algorithm is what's going to be carrying all of that. The algorithm, the only way that it can actually work is that, not the only way, but one of the ways that it works is that, you know, that's how you get quote unquote shadow banned. That's how you get videos sent to you because they know what interests you. They don't have access to the algorithm means they don't have access to all the data. Weren't you worried about the data to begin with? This is why this shit don't make sense to me. And 1 plus 1 is not coming up to 2. The algorithm is what keeps the data, but you're not buying the algorithm. You're buying the shell. For what? The app don't work without the algorithm. And if you decide to build your own algorithm, TikTok's going to suck unbelievably. I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, beyond extinction, Americans are more concerned about losing TikTok than losing our democracy. Yeah, true. I got a Substack, mrstraightfacts.substack.com. I'm writing articles about that. I'm exposing the the pillars of American democracy, what has to fall, basically like the dominoes that have to fall in order for a democracy to turn into a dictatorship or authoritarianism. And you'll be shocked as these articles come out more and more how each tenet has either fallen or has crumbled. And there's only like a few more before it actually falls into dictatorship. People think it's going to be, you know, some noticeable thing that's going to happen. It's gradual. It's gradual. Part of talking about getting rid of the Department of Education, that the statement is in history. It's shocking that people haven't learned it. Basically, is um, if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. So if you take away the Department of Education, you dumb down the people. And if the people are too stupid to understand what they're buying, they'll buy it and then find out it's not what they want. Similar, not similar, exactly like when they told them, oh, the price of air is going to go down once I come in. And all of us were screaming, how? They took him for his word. Yeah, it's going to stop. How? Tariffs. Tariffs are taxes. How do you charge more for something and somehow it's a lesser price? You don't know what you're talking about. Trump's know what he's talking about. Really? Then explain to me how tariffs work. They weren't hearing it. They fell for the banana tailpipe. And that's how you start breaking down pieces and pieces of the democracy. I guarantee you most Americans don't know what a democracy is. They just know what capitalism is. And they barely know that. But if you read these articles, you'll see piece by piece by piece how our democracy is falling apart. And people think you just, oh man, you're blowing out of proportion. I'm like, just research every government that was not a dictatorship that became one. Every tenet that Trump has done, it's not a fucking coincidence, is the exact same thing that every dictator did. Not just Hitler. Every last one of them did the same exact thing. And Donald Trump has done the exact same thing as all of them. These articles will expose that. Deal with my TBI by meeting other TBI sufferers. Little did I know I would wind up fighting for our democracy. They flipped my switch, right? Pretty loco. It's insane. So yeah, I focus on our democracy too. It's like it's a big fight on all things. I care about all people, but like you'll see, some things you just got to step away and fight for or focus on you. Like white women. The things that have happened to you, you need to fight that shit and be the leader of that shit and be the winner of that shit. Black people, whatever we're going through, we need to fight for that, lead it, strategize, and win. Once we win, other people win. But we got to focus on us. The history of our democracy. No. And you can hand it to them. They still ain't going to read it. It's really about the money, about losing TikTok, not equity or rights. If people weren't losing money, they would care less. If people weren't losing, oh, you're talking about the other apps losing money? Money, influence, power, yeah. Has a great video on the details of the dangers of TikTok. It's already happened as far as I can tell, as far as momentum. That's why I'm active against it. What is this, Joseph? Watch what I want on YouTube, not what they want me to watch. Right, being loco? I'm always trying to find something new. When they put my algorithm together, I'll be like, look, I didn't ask for this. A part of losing your democracy is what is happening with TikTok. Yeah. So I noticed I was going to post a video and I get frustrated here lately after the election because I just like, what's the purpose? People are going to hear it, you know what I mean? And are they going to do anything? No. And then I'm wasting my breath. So I've been wanting to record probably like 30 videos and I get halfway through them and I'm like, ain't nobody trying to hear this stuff no more. They just, they already know the answer. They don't have any solutions. They're just going to listen to this and move on to the next problem. So you start to see that it really isn't helping But when you get to talking about dictatorship, oh, it's already on the horizon. Oh, it's already been there, Joseph. Not the dictatorship, but the oligarchy. Oligarchy is has been there. These billionaires have been paying for elections forever. They've just been doing it in the dead of night. You know what I mean? People have been saying it. You know, forgot the name of the brothers on the Republican side, and then they talk about the people on the Democrat side. All of them are beholden to these billionaires, the Koch brothers. All of them are beholden to these billionaires. I can't remember a time. I ain't saying it wasn't there. I'm just saying I can't remember it. A time where politicians were really for the people. To get power, they say all kinds of things, but when you ask them to pass certain things for you, they're not there. They're passing things that these rich people want. If you really knew how our government, a lot of what our government works like, you know, and I don't know everything, but a lot of these bills are written by the lobbyists and by other people that have interests, millionaires and billionaires, and then they vote on them. You're like, who put this together? It'll be like one politician. And I'm like, but this is like 600 pages. That one politician, two of them put it together. That's it? No. These things were written by insurance companies or written by some lobbyists and signed on to by one of these Republicans or Democrats, independents or whatever, then brought to the rest of the people. And it's filled with so much like pork that you're sitting here like, oh, yeah, I want to change that. Oh, I want to change that. Oh, these 40 things, I don't want to change those. Well, if you want those 3 things, you got to change these 40. And then you hear about those 3 things that they want everybody to believe in, but those 40 are about to fuck you. And you just be like, oh, wow, they passed this bill that we can. And it's like, one thing I did agree with Republicans on, at least 1 or 2 of them, was that we need to have bills that are singular bills. Vote up and down on this bill that's only about this thing. Vote only about this thing. Stop putting a bunch of shit in one thing and we care about 2 or 3. And the other ones, we don't know what that's going to do to us because it's not the main focus. And then those 30 other things that got in destroys us little by little, or puts a lot of money in a billionaire's pocket and they end up giving them all kinds of subsidies and tax breaks and grants and shit they don't have to pay back. But middle class and poor people have the same idea or possibly opportunity, and they're not even looked at. They're looked over. It's got to change. It's not going to unless we do. And just cause. Yeah, breath is not. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that are going on. I'm trying to read some of these messages. But I just wanted to come on and talk about a lot of what's going on. Somebody said, who was it? Benny Loco said that YouTube is censoring me right now. Benny Loco, you're gonna trip. I don't know exactly if you will, but I did. You can go to, if you guys get a chance, go to atavi.com. And I got to take it down because I had it up, but not on Tavi, but Atahvi. It's called Atavi. It means something, but I ain't saying what it means right now. But go to atavi.com, look at it, watch the 40-something second, 40 second video. Watch that for a hot second. And when you get finished with it, I'll tell you right now what happened. I put that up on YouTube. Y'all know me, Mr. F your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Cussing and all. Donald Trump, I don't came up with terms and names for him and his people. It's been hilarious for me, but I was like, I marked down that I cuss on my videos and let them go by. I put that 40-second video up, not one cuss word in it. It had video at the very beginning of when the dogs were attacking the college students and so forth during the 60s, talking about protecting black people in America and all stuff like that from, you know, racism and hatred and, you know, bad officers and policing, all that stuff. But it's literally like 2 or 3 seconds or so of that, maybe 3 or 4. And it moves on to me talking about what I'm trying to do for the black community and save the black community from the racism and officers and all that, bad people, and securing us, empowering black people without begging, you know, bad people to stop doing what they do. And it's literally 43 seconds. I put it on YouTube just to house it. I wasn't going to put it out there for everybody to see. When I actually went in to put it in, because I was hiding it, I didn't want nobody to see it. I was going to put the link on my website, and I put it on YouTube. Took the link, put it on my website so that my website could play it, right? And by doing that, before I did that, but when I doing it, I opened it up to see what it looked like on my website, and it said it was not banned because, you know, like some kind of strike against me. They wouldn't show it unless you are on the page for eight. They made it so that it's 18 or older can see the video. And I'm like, I appealed it or reviewed it for YouTube. I'm like, I've never seen anything like this. Why would you do that? Because if you're a person on YouTube, as far as like content creating, on YouTube, you literally have a selection of what you say this video is. Is it say that it's for children? None of my videos are for children. I always mark it's not for children. So it's always basically for 18 and over, because when you say not children, they don't show it to children. So when I put this video up, I said it's not for children. Even if things that don't have cuss words in it, I'm just not the person that I want little kids following, because their situation is they don't want to see me saying F you all the time and all that. I'm cool with it. So I put it up on behind the scenes. You couldn't see it. It was literally unlisted. And by the time I looked at it on my site, it said had a violation. I go to look at it and I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? I reviewed it. They upheld it and said that children shouldn't see this. And I was like, what in the hell did I say that children shouldn't see? There was nothing. I literally said nothing. And I literally put in that it wasn't for children to begin with. All my videos, I do that. And I didn't monetize it. So I wasn't trying to let a lot of people watch it. I just wanted people on my site to watch it. And I wasn't pushing any kids there. And I'm like, what? I've never seen YouTube do this. This just happened like a couple days ago. And I'm like, I've never had that. Ever. And now I do. I don't know what changed with YouTube, but they blocked it for people to see unless you sign in to YouTube. And I'm like, why would you do that? It is what it is. So when you look at my website, you know, I have my own server. I have my own web hosting. So I pay for it. So I put it on my own server and it plays from my stuff, from my server, not from YouTube server. So if it does have a little lag in it, I apologize, because some computers are not built like others. Some people have old computers. Some people have new ones, so it should be great. But if a lot of people get to that page when I start promoting it, it might slow down. But it's 43 seconds. It's not going to be housing a shit ton of videos. It's just going to have that one to introduce people and email so that you can get in contact. So I can get in contact with you and send out mass emails about what we're going to do. But that was YouTube. I was like, wow, when did this shit start happening? Really a shocker. I was going to make a video about that. Then I said, you know what? No reason. Ain't nobody going to do nothing about it. It's just bitching and moaning for no reason. I'm in my solution phase. I'm not into just my bitch and moan phase. I got solutions. So we work on those. But yeah, that was crazy. Good way to roll. I hardly ever notify my YouTube of your lives. and not all your videos, even though I hit a all button, a hidden form of censorship. Yeah, beyond extinction. I mean, again, if you're speaking truth to power, they don't want you to see that. And especially if you're telling people to be informed. I never tell people just to listen to me and think I'm going to tell you 100% truth. I am a person who does research, and I'm going to tell you the 100% truth that I find it. But if you ever question anything that I say, I always tell you to look it up. Don't just trust me, go. And you'll find out I'm not lying to you. I don't want it to be just the word that I say it and you just automatically believe it. I want you to double check and triple check. Because you know what I get out of that and what you get out of that is that I've done the homework. And then when you start fact checking me, you start to trust me. And when you start to trust me, you know I'm not here to lie to you. And at any given moment, you can pick up a book, an article, type in a keyword from what I said, and find out if I messed up, if I'm still factual, if I'm slipping, if I fell for some gossip and not truth. And you can always come to me and now, my bad, it was gossip. I thought it was the truth. I got this information from this source, that third, and all. Here's the receipts. I can be wrong, but trust me, I'm going to research the hell out of it. And the only way I'm going to end up wrong is if somehow the sources in which I got lied to me. It'll never be me looking at the source and me telling the opposite of what my sources are. I won't do that on purpose. So that's the reason I can't stand liars. I want people to be dealing with the truth, even if it's good or bad or indifferent. The truth is the truth. Social media hates the truth, but the sure love mind pudding. Yeah, mind pudding. I'm saying, I was like, what the hell is that pudding? Yeah, they love putting your mind. They don't want you to think for yourself, and that's the thing. When I tell people to think for themselves, don't listen to them. Don't listen to me. Go figure it out. Because when I tell people to do that, they'll find out that I'm not trying to trick them. The person that they believe in ain't tricking them. And the thing is like go look at credible sources. Look at, like I tell people often on my other apps, I'll say like, because I don't go live over here that much. I'm trying to figure my way out on this whole process because it's a lot of work. But I tell people, to look it up on both sides. And that way you'll find the truth. But you'll notice somebody who's lying to you. They never want you to look it up. They want you to believe their word is gold. I've never seen one of them say, go look it up. Whenever I seen them, they're talking to somebody who's a liberal or Democrat or independent, and that person will bring up a fact to them and they'll switch topics. They're allergic to the facts because the facts make them weak. It's the lies that make them strong. They don't need validation to lie. They don't need receipts to lie because they only want those people who are sucker enough to just believe their word and not fact check them. Those are the type of people I don't need in my life whatsoever. I'm like, dude, if you're just going to believe the hype, we ain't got nothing to say because you're going to believe either what I say without even fact checking it or what they say without even fact checking it. Don't fact check it. So therefore, you know which one really has your back, which one really has the truth. Because I'm going to tell you whether it hurts you or makes you feel good. That person always want to make you feel good, even though they got to lie to you, that person ain't got your back. Yeah. I was going to say, one of the things about this algorithm, like each algorithm is different. It's crazy different. For instance, like for my IG, on IG, if I scroll past a video, I don't care what it is. It may be, one of the models or something like that. I'll scroll past that. If I slow down whatsoever, my entire feed the next day is filled with them. Filled. I don't have to sit there and watch 17 videos. I can literally watch that one. Or even scroll past that one. Or be scrolling, put my phone down, look back up, and I'm like, scroll back, and I've got hundreds of them the next day. I'm like, oh my God. But if I scroll on something on IG where it's no matter what race of the person, but they're speaking facts. I mean, I'm sitting here like, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Didn't know that. Write that down. I gotta get that. I'll be on that video. It'll be like a 3 minute video, but I'll be on it for like 10 minutes because I'll listen to it 2 or 3 times and take notes. They said this. I didn't know that. They said this. They said that. I'll take those notes. I apply it to my research strategy. I go look it up. I find them to be factual. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I go back and I like the video because they taught me something. They deserve something in return. I won't see that person's video unless I seek it. That video won't pop up on my timeline for Jack. Not that video, but that follower, that profile. I will like the video. I will share that video. I will follow that human being. And I won't see another one of their videos. Sometimes for months. I'll be like, whatever happened to that person I followed a while back ago? And I have to go look at them. Oh, I remember the name was something with this. I'm following them. And I look into my follow. I'm like, I can't find them for Jack. I don't know about y'all, but there's been a couple times they were unfollowed. I'm like, I never unfollow anybody. Because I'm usually a person who researches somebody before I follow them. And people I really like what they said, and they gave me facts that I didn't know. I respect that. I'll follow them. I won't see them forever. And next thing you know, I'm not following them no more. It's insane. That's on my IG. On TikTok, man, I would get, if you knew me before I got my account stolen, I had almost 200,000 followers. So I was doing the damn thing, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't somebody who was on that thing every day. I would record, do something every other day or so, or one video a week or whatever. So, I wasn't killing it, but I was doing okay. 200,000 followers, whatever it was. And at one point in time, I was getting 5,000, 10,000 people watching my videos. Somebody would report me because it broke their heart that I literally fact checked them and made them look like a fool. And I'd have like 10,000 people like my video. They would report it as if I did something to them or bullied them or whatever. And then TikTok would ban the video for a little bit. Always gave it back to me, except for like once or twice. Gave it right back to me. And after they did that, that video that was getting hundreds of people like per second, up to 10,000 or whatever, once that person made a complaint, then they found out that there's nothing wrong with my video. I got 10,000 within that first 30 minutes after that complaint, and I won it. I get like 10 people watching it, not liking it, watching it. 10 more people watched it in like a 15-day span. Stop showing it, that algorithm. Because once they realize, oh, this person's speaking facts, this person's speaking whatever, these people getting hurt, let's just hold back on their videos. And if you were a person on that particular platform, you know how many times that black people saw white people saying the N-word and was like, yo, he's literally saying the N-word. He's literally saying the N-word. You got to take this down. You got to take this down. You got to take this down. They showed the video. Take it down. They didn't do anything wrong. Seriously? White person saying the N-word in a very mean, evil-spirited way was nothing wrong with it. But you don't call anybody outside their name, but you tell them some hard truths. It's a violation. But we'll put it back up. Say what? The For Real. Thank you, Old School. Thank you, Being Loco, for another Straight Facts, gifted one Straight Facts membership. I appreciate you. So we see all these things happening, and we can't do anything about them. There's somebody on here who's making a living off of it, seems. There's monetizing it, and seemed like it was very effective for them in their themselves or their families or whatever they was using the money for. And it's gone now. I don't know what people are going to do. Myself, I'll move on. I got a feeling, to be honest, and you can mark my words on this, and I could be wrong. I don't mind being wrong, but I'm going to make a prediction that it's going to come back up. Give Trump all the credit. Um, and the app is going to turn into um, Twitter or X 2.0. You have a bunch of racists talking about craziness, um, not being banned for what they do, but let you say anything about you're tired of racists and this and that, trying to fight stand up for black people or black rights or talk about black history or anything about Latin history or just about women having rights and all that shit. It's gonna get banned. Mm-hmm. The next thing you know, it's going to be a bunch of racist and xenophobic and anti-gay and anti-lesbian and trans. What bathroom you're going? It's going to be a bunch of them saying some of the most egregious things, and their video will stay up forever. And you'll get on there and say, whatever it is about that person. You're xenophobe. You're transphobe. You're something, and boop, you're racist. Video gone. But they can call you everything in the book. Socially conscious. I'm on fan base. I'm on different platforms. Hey, McDonald's, jail, shut up. Okay. You got issues. That was funny though. I'm thinking about going. Yeah, I went to Fanbase. I've been on Fanbase pretty much since the very beginning of it. I didn't utilize it because I was already my first app to really go in on and get a following was TikTok. If you don't know what I did, I was called Blacklist back then at the very beginning, and I focused. It's called Black Brilliance on the B side. So I talked about Black brilliant people in American history that we weren't taught in school, and I did that for about 2 years, I would say, and then I shifted from that to talking about straight facts, no chaser, and been doing that for a while now, and that's how I got into this content creating on social media platforms, and I had many people reach out to me. I belong to TikTok. I was on Black TikTok. I was part. They reached out to me for the Black TikTok, Learn on TikTok, a few other programs that they had. And I was connected to TikTok in those ways and meetings and stuff of that nature about what be good for the app. Went through all that, and then I think it was either I want to say Fanbase or Clapper when they first came out. I don't know which one came out first. Approached me on TikTok and said, "We got a new app. We would love for you to come over." And at different times, I went over to each individual app. And I went over to Clapper. At the time, Clapper was so buggy. It was buggy. I mean, it still got some bugs now because I went back to join on it since TikTok was going to go down. I just joined it. It's Mr. Straight Facts today, actually. And every other page had a 505 gateway, 504 gateway, one of those. Error. I go to a page, couldn't see it. Go to another page, couldn't see it. Recorded a video. After I recorded it, it went black. I was like, what the hell? It's got issues still. And when it first came out, it had a major issue. So I wasn't on it because of that. I was like, once they fix the bugs, I'll come back. Obviously, they still, it's probably overloaded now more than they thought they would have. So it's probably why it's having issues because millions of people probably just jumped onto that platform. So I understand them probably going through more bugs. But then, hey, what's up, TKO? And then that was Clapper. And then I went to Fanbase around the first time they came out. I don't know if y'all remember when it around the first time it came out. It had been out for a little while, but it was the Conscious Lee. Uh, uh, the owner reached out to him. They had some kind of, I don't know if it was grand opening or whatever it was, some kind of group that was working with content creators, and they brought him out and a bunch of other content creators, some of my mutuals, and they did some video or something of that nature promoting the business, which is dope. And I don't know if he became some kind of ambassador to the company, but I had joined back then to support the brother. And this is when TikTok was either 3 minutes max, I think, maybe 10, and it just started the 10 thing, whatever. And I was doing, I was doing at least 3 to 5 minute videos, and he only had 60 seconds. I never really, when I first started, when TikTok had 60 seconds, I cut those videos, and then when they opened it up to 3, I was doing more because my videos were educational, so I wanted more time. So I gotten up to like 3 minutes or more. I wasn't about to break them down to 1, so that's why I wasn't on his app, because it was less. It was like a minute long, if that. And I'm like, that's the the dancers, the do a little something here and there. That's not me. So that's why I left the app. I still had an account, but I left it because I was like, I can't put my content on it, and I wasn't about to start up a new content platform. I was already doing my thing and working it. So that's why now I'm back on it as Mr. Straight Facts, and I think I put like 1 video on, but yeah, but I support the brother 100%. That's why I got my account there. I don't, being local, have a backup YouTube channel. I'm never a TikToker. It was not midnight in the South yet. Yeah, TKO, where you at? I know you had it. I was playing some of a game of dominoes around 9 p.m. and happened to touch the app and saw it. My eyes got bigger than a dollar. uh, like, bruh, they didn't even give it till 12 a.m. This is crazy. TKO, if you had seen me earlier, I went live. I don't know for sure if you was in there. I can't remember top of my head. I went live earlier today around probably like 2 or 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and I said I'll come back later. So I got something to eat, was chilling, and my girlfriend was watching the TV show. Got finished with the TV show, and was sitting there saying, you know what, it's getting kind of late. It was 7:58, something like that, 7:58 Pacific Standard Time, which would have been 10:58 East Coast. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got another 2 hours before midnight, so I wanted to go hit it at midnight because it's still the 18th, not the 19th. So I'm like, all right, cool. Then I went up, put my girlfriend actually, her phone, she said, not her. You know what went out first? CapCut. CapCut. She has CapCut. She edits on that. I edit on my own system here. DaVinci. I edit on DaVinci. And she had CapCut and she's working on something. She's trying to show me. And she's like, check this out. And I went to go look at it, and this big message came up. Sorry, TikTok isn't available right now. And I'm like, say what? I mean, I got another hour and some change before it becomes midnight. It ain't like the 19th, like nowhere. I mean, overseas, I'm sure. But it's America. So, the 19th in America. It's been the 19th overseas for some time now. So why just this random time? So I'm like, Her phone was that way. I said, her CapCut. So I went directly to my TikTok. I got to go live real quick. So TikTok was working. I put in there, what I was going to do. I'm saying, like the name of it. And I was ready to push go live, right? I went to go push the button. On my way to the button, my profile picture turned gray. I was like, what? Continue with the push the button. Can't access or whatever. Unable to access, live, whatever it said. Unable to access something. And so I got out of it real quick and I played the videos. And I'm playing my videos. I'm watching my videos. I go to the homepage. I'm scrolling up and down. All the videos are there. Mind you, at this time, her app had stopped. She couldn't even give access to TikTok. It says can't get access to it. I got access. I'm sitting there chilling, watching every video, watching the home videos, watching other people who posted hours earlier. And then it was delayed. Gone. I was like, that's crazy. I ain't seen no shit like that. But yeah, I was trying to go live with a TKO, but it just didn't work. Phone, take all the data on your computer or phone. On every one of these apps, you can turn off the data and how the data is shared, and the app still works 100%. Um, you can do that. Now, there are certain things I'm sure you probably can't, the simple things that are your name, and if you put your phone number in there and address, let's see your address, I just don't share. You don't have to put it in there, to be honest. But just the simple things, age, and things that everybody's got access to now, just by going to YouTube, not YouTube. Well, I'm sure, but Google, same thing. You can go to Google and type in people's names. I can type in one of y'all names. It ain't even got to be your real name. I could type in just Benny Loco. And it'll show me Benny Loco, like, oh, Benny Loco's videos, blah, 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 whatever they may have on YouTube or TikTok, whatever. And you can, if you really want to, you can do your research and go all the way back to find out, oh, this is the person's real name and this is where they live at. And all that stuff is all out there. It's out there. If you've ever given your information to a credit card company, to a phone company, to a corporation, you walk up and see a raffle. Oh, they're giving away hats and shoes and candy and a taco. Sign the dotted line. They got your shit. Every conference you don't been to, you don't went to to Vegas for a concert. Their information is out there. YouTube channel for your protection. All right, thank you, Being Loco. She said, I got nothing to hide. I understand. I ain't saying nobody got nothing to hide. I know you're not saying that, but yeah. But I'm just saying that for just any reason. Like, that's why I don't really care about that stuff. I'm not paranoid about that. Because again, if they want me, they can find me. Think about, I don't know if you went on TikTok before Beyond Extinction, so you didn't see it. But people who are on TikTok, been on TikTok, y'all know what I'm going to say a name y'all going to know. Well, two names you're going to know. Dinesh and Tizzy Ant. Whatever you do, you're accessible. Those two find some of the most hard to find. I mean, the cops can't even find them. Somehow these fools will come out with their whole life. Oh, this dude was here and he used to go to this bar and his favorite drink is, Mai Tai. In 12th grade, he burped once. You'd be like, what the fuck? How'd you figure all that out? It's crazy. Noah, you kept it. It was off at 6:30 Alaska time. Hey, I hear you, Shelly. It was crazy because again, like I said, I was ready to go live, and it just boop was gone within the time it took my finger to get to the button. And I'm like, how do you go away on the 18th? You would think you would squeeze it out. And you thought also because it was banned that it would still be accessible on your phone. You just wouldn't be able to use it. That's what all these people were saying. These lawyers were saying on TikTok and YouTube, and people was talking about it and all this stuff. It's not gonna just go away. You still have it on your app. You can still access it. You just wouldn't have access to the algorithm or some other stuff, and it would get old and dissipate and all that nonsense. None of them knew what they were talking about. You was being threatened. Oh man, that's not good. Beyond extinction. To be an anti-nuke activist. I know those two on Instagram. Yeah, you know those two. I'm telling you, they were good at their jobs, so they're gonna find you no matter what. They're doing it for the good, but anybody can find us. But I focus on solutions and You know, may the rest fall where it may. Yeah, I might make a different me for people who don't read. Oh yeah, I might make a. Am I frozen? What's frozen, cat? Still says excellent connection for me. It was not good. Very scary as a single woman. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I can understand that. That can be fearful because you never know what these nuts are doing. Yeah, Tizzy Ant. Yeah, that fool will find you anywhere. Him and other people. I mean, they get the help of other people, but still, it is an amazing turnaround. I and most people don't realize that's a hard uh thing to do. It's not easy whatsoever to literally try and find people or to even be in that realm because a lot of times you got to do research because some people will complain about something that ain't even real. Won't have video to back it up, and you may jump and leap, and it turns out what they said was a complete falsehood, and you got egg on your face. So for them to be accurate and fast, it's amazing. They if they don't have a background in the you know in like the CIA or FBI or whatever the heck it is, they should be. They do way better than the officers do. Trust and believe. Yeah, I got hacked and my hacker was on my account going live on TikTok. So and saying all kinds of crazy stuff, but it wasn't in English. But it's all good. So see if other people were talking about. Uh, Thank you for all the memberships, Benny Loco, and the donations to me. I appreciate it. We get on here and we try our best to educate, inform, strategize. My content's gonna take a shift a little bit. Hopefully, you guys can stick with me. But like I said, I'm more going toward the solution part, not just the complaints. I'm trying to figure out how I can produce the content where I can present the problem and a solution. It's hard to create that content, like a Tizzy Ant or Dinesh. You know, they'll promote like this is what happened, and then we need to find them, and then after that, they find them and they have a backup video. For me, I want to present the problem, then present a solution, and see how many people that want to actually move on the solutions. Um, Not as interesting, I'm sure, as what they're doing, catching bad guys and girls, but mine is trying to change lives for black people. So I might start another account focused on just that. Um, because even on this account, I realized that when I started talking less about Donald Trump and more about, black unity and stuff like that, I had about a few hundred people leave because they were just, one, they was pissed off about the election. They're just done with it. They don't want to hear any more about politics. Another is that, their comments were like, I know it was just a black thing. Is that it's not, dude. You're looking at a black person. I got to really focus on the issues that my people face. It's not that I don't care about anybody else. It's that nobody cares about us. You know what I mean? And no disrespect, even if you are a good person that's white, you got racist white people fighting for your rights. They are, but they just don't include you in the economic aspect of it. But for you to be treated any different because you're white, they're not doing that. Uh, but because of your economic status, they are. And for us, it's both. It's our economic status and the color of our skin. So somebody has to be working on that problem. We got a problem of poverty and racism. The poverty part, we all need to work on. The racism part, we've been working on it, but as a we thing, it really, as a we thing meaning like all people incorporated, it hasn't worked. So I think black people need to work on that and figure that out. And then those who are allies or accomplices, whatever name you guys are given, um, you can come in when we have structure and solutions, and then be a help then. Because one of the things that I've noticed over my journey in life, not just on TikTok, but just in life dealing with racism as a black person my entire life, is that really good people of all races, colors, and creeds outside of being black really want it to end, but they always ask how. And no disrespect to anybody, even myself, those answers are hard to have, but we will have those answers, black people, if we sat down in communion. And when they ask us how, we can have an actual strategy. Then you will know if these people really give a damn about you or not. When you say, oh, do this, 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 and they don't do it, then you know that they're just talking. But when good people are saying, what can I do? And we really don't have an answer, then how are we going to solve it? So we got to get together, chat, not in hate, but in love, in solutions. And once we come up with solutions, start implementing them, the good people who are not black can aid in the actual strategy and the plan, but they can't be the one that make it up. That's the way I feel. So that's why I'm getting with black people through Black Unity, and we talking, we're strategizing, we're listening, be heard. We're knowing what each other feels and what people know, what's our facts in our community. Just like I told you guys about Gary, Indiana. Not a lot of black people know about Gary, Indiana, and extreme poverty because industries left. So if you talk to black people in Gary, Indiana, they would have a better understanding of poverty in this country than somebody who's living in the middle class that may not be able to get a $500,000 loan when somebody in Gary, Indiana can't get $10. And they both black. And the reason why they both aren't getting it is because they're both black. Right? And so if those people came into communion and discussed things, that brother or sister that's trying to get $500,000 loan for their business or whatever, or investment, might be able to connect with that dude who can't get $10 and lend them some money and get back, 3, 5, whatever percentage you decide, and be able to help them out so that you can build these things over time. I mean, that was just off the dome. It wasn't like the strategy I have, but that was off the dome. That's a way to be able to provide solutions. You know what I mean? That's the only way we're going to do it. It's the only way we're going to be successful doing it. We haven't tried it, so it's time to try it. Black folks get together, not in hate, not in disgust, not anything like that. It's to end the issues that cause us problems in this country. Is to force racism out of people, not to beg and ask them. And then it's to strategize and then incorporate those who are fighting as well. But if we can't solve it for ourselves, we really can't help anybody else in their solution, can we? And it's too easy to divide us, to be honest. With all of us fighting together, it's quick for a racist white person to get just an average white person to believe into the racist white person, and therefore disconnect everything that black people are trying or Latin people are trying, because that person falls to the wayside. You just can't have that. You really got to have people who are strong in their convictions about things need to change, that you can't waver. They won't waver no matter how hard as the storms come at them. They're not going to waver. Those are the people that make change, everlasting change. Those flaky people, nothing changes with them. They shift with the wind. They're not sturdy and strong. The wind's going to always win against them. At a quiet table. Correct. Definitely Benny Loco, 100%. Don't stop doing politics because it ain't. No, I'm not gonna stop doing it. I'm gonna just stop just complaining. I'm gonna come up with solutions, like things we can do, and whether people decide to do them, that's on them. But yeah, I'm gonna keep reporting on it. But like I said, It's been tough. It's been really tough because you're like, what we gonna do, people? Just talking about it, it's good. It's therapy. You know what's even better therapy? Stopping the crap, getting ahead of it. That's even better. It lasts longer. So yeah, so I'm gonna keep fighting. Thank you, being local. I appreciate you. And courage to keep on keeping on. Yeah. It's time to solve it. What did Rude Interplanet Janet years ago AOL I was hacked. Oh yeah. Yeah. Being hacked ain't no joke. We need chapters. Mozzie Cats. We'll talk about all those things, but it's going to take in different communities to be able to. One of the things I realized, like the two platforms that I build, I'm building an ecosystem for us, and what that basically means is multiple platforms to solve the problems that we face. So there's an economic wing that focuses on things. There's actually jobs that's going to be focusing on things within one app. Like I said, think of a better like Facebook and LinkedIn put together where you're doing professional things and you're also working on community and resources, things you can sell your products and different things of that nature. Being in groups and talking about black real estate agents and black this and black that and talking about black therapy, talking about what we've been going through, so that we're all kind of on the same plane. We're in different seats, but on the same plane. And so that's what I'm trying to get to. In order to do that, we must come together and talk. Just sit and at your home, wherever you want to sit at in your Zoom. I prefer you to be in a quiet place because trust me, the people in these rooms are delivering some of the most dynamic conversations. Uh, some of them have power in what they do. Some of them in real estate. Some of them are retired and just wise because they lived this life. And be prepared to have these conversations. Now, not everybody that's in the group is going to show up at every meeting because they have lives and professional lives and vacations they take. But that doesn't matter. It's all about you bringing your A game and saying, hey, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm doing. This is what kind of business I'm running or want to build. And then talk about your personal stuff, how your family may be dealing with racism in business or in finance or whatever it may be, and how you believe that can be solved. And I will present all the solutions that I have designed to a certain point, but the strategies in which I think these things will try and solve it. I have spent years thinking about and listening to black folks talk on these platforms and express their pains, and I've listened. And these platforms that I'm talking about building are solutions for them. And so while I'm building it, I want your input so that your input leads this thing in the right direction. There's no reason of building an app and platforms that are meant to solve problems that we have if we're not telling the creator what kind of problems you need fixed. Your input will make the platform better and more effective. And so multiple platforms are being built. People are like, oh, one business at a time. We ain't got that kind of time. God has given me a gift to be able to come up with strategies and problem solving for a lot. One app can do a lot for us, but multiple apps create industries. And as long as these industries are growing and thriving, black people will have a standing in this country. It's not a me thing. This is a we thing. It's akin to what I like to call the digital Wakanda. Visualize that. If you remember the movie, they had a force field that you couldn't even see them. That's technology. This app is a force field that protects us through technology, that promotes us through technologies, that loves on us through technology, that unites us through technology. We couldn't do that before Black Wall Street and all these other ones like in New York and other states. They were doing their thing just in Tulsa. They were doing their thing just in New York. And them being so disconnected and yet and so centralized that you set it on fire, it's all gone. You blow it up and unalive people, it's all gone. You're starting from scratch. That's why technology, the invisible shield, you just can't take that away. You just can't burn that down. You got to decentralize it. So you got to tear down everybody's thing to tear down our thing. They ain't willing to do that. It's a lot of money to lose. So yeah, I've thought this through. Years of thinking it through. It's up to you. If you want to see it, atavi.com. I have a GoFundMe for that. You want to be a part of the social media platforms that's going to help us economically and all stuff like that. That's blackunity.com. That has its GoFundMe. All these things are being built together. We'll start hiring people through equity alone because we're not made of money. We have to do this with people with passion wanting to see that change. You got to have this social activist mindset that you want to see a better world for us and be the change that we desire. Don't wait on somebody else. So if you got any kind of understanding of, we're going to need social media people who are good at that, marketing, we're going to need CTOs, anybody that knows anything about being a CTO, we're going to need project managers. These are multiple industries that we're building at once, not just businesses, industries. If you go look at the logo for Atavi, black folks, if you see it, even white people, if you see it, but that logo stands for something. It stands for, put it this way, for me, the vision is every black person wearing these, you're letting every racist around you know you're protected. Anything. You're never, anything they want to do to you, they're never not under the watchful eye of technology. If they ever try to do something to you, it's recorded. Not only recorded, but uploaded to clouds. You no longer have to be your word against a racist or your word against a police officer. Technology will make it so that every time they lie, they're caught in it. And every law they break, we sue them for. Not until they lose what they love dearly will they stop forcing us to lose our babies because of their hatred. Fight fire with fire. If you can't handle your racism, then we will take care of it by taking everything you love away. That house you worked so hard for is mine now. That car you just bought that you like, you got to sell it to pay me. Keep being racist and breaking the laws toward black folk, and you'll find out that we ain't fucking around. That's just part of it. I don't thought this through, baby. I'm not focused on getting them to stop doing what they're doing just because they love black folk all of a sudden. Nope. They love what they have amassed. And when it's gone, they'll change. They'll change. Trust and believe. Hit them where it hurts. You punch the bully in the mouth. You don't try to become his or her friend. I understand beyond extinction. Hey, look, just support. Just support. We'll take care of all the technology stuff. Exactly. This program is being built, Mazi Kazi. You can go to my this right here is Atavi. Oops, what is that called? The news already said TikTok goes dark. Atavi is the app that's protecting Black folks. It's a digital fortress for Black people, um, holding racists and bad actors accountable for their actions until they decide they want to stop, not because of the love of their heart. It's to love on Black folk. It's to take away the incentive, their hatred or their house. Which one do you want to keep? Your choice. Nobody's saying it's going to end racism forever, but it will stop a lot of it. And guess what? The data that we get from this, oh, it's going to be insane. And also, one of the things I love that I'm doing as well, because I don't care about selling data and all making money. Fuck all that shit. I ain't caring about it. I told you, this is not for the money. It's for the love of people. Is all of the data that we get from the people will be accessible to the people. Everything we use, we'll never sell anything. Everything we use as far as your name, you ain't getting access to nobody else's data. But your data, oh, we took your name, we did this, we did this, we did this. This is what we keep this for. All of that will be right there. You can take all that shit away. It won't destroy the app at all. It won't not have you access. We ain't trying to hold nobody ransom. You don't want to put that stuff in, you don't have to put it in. But the thing is that we're using this data to find out which lawyers are bad, which judges are bad, which police officers are bad, which racists out there people are bad. We keep record of everything, all knowing. Fuck around and find out. That's what I'm talking about. So that's what we work on. What was I doing? That Tavi is the one that's protecting people. And then you got for Black people to unite and talk, converse and be heard, come up with solutions and strategies as Black people, no matter where you live, but notifying people, because we got people who are in Atlanta, people in other states. And the great thing about it, once we get finished talking and sharing and all that, that the first thing they're doing is saying like, oh, I live in Atlanta too. Okay, let me get your information. Da, da, da. I can't share your information. You can share while we're in the room, but they connect. I live right down the street. It's amazing how they didn't know. They both joined, to Black Unity. And now within their state, they're talking about organizing to do certain things, which that information coming back to us will only help us as we start to grow to be able to help them in some way, shape, or form. And it may not be money. It may be just resources. It may be a contact. We're more powerful than we know. We're connected. I said, hey, doctor, keep up the great work. Much love. Thank you, 1BC. I appreciate you. Thinks he's brand new. He really lost his way since he was a crib from, yeah. Shoes for him. Yeah, Baron is Fahrenheit. Yeah, that was high. Like I said earlier, I'm not buying anything from that dude. But that's where this is at. I'm building it, Mozzie Katz. Amazing. How you say your name? Mozzie Katz. Yeah, I'm building it. So you have to go there. Then you can go to the meetings. How it's set up is Black Unity is the entire connection. It's going to be the social media wing of it all. How we get to know each other, how we become friends and family and connect and understand what we're going through as a people, how we're going through individually. See, a lot of our problems can be solved just in unity. Not everything to do with racism, but if you have economic issue or if you need a house or you need this or that, there are going to be people within our core groups that's going to have access to those things, or at least I had one brother reach out to me today. I don't know if it was in my live. I want to say it was in my live on TikTok. And I said, go follow me and come to the meetings because they know how to, it maybe it was in here, how to save money. Things of that. I think it was in here to save money or something like that. Save money. It was. The person said they can save people so much money and stuff like that. I'm like, come over. Tell these brothers and sisters what you do. It's not just promoting your brand and then bouncing. It's really talking about communion. Like, what are we talking about? What's going on? Once we start to know a little bit more about each other, then we start to care about one another. When we start to care about one another, then we want to solve problems for one another. And once we're on that train, watch out, America. United black people, don't take all of us. I don't want to hear that. We can't get everybody. I don't care. I don't want everybody. If you down, I want you. I don't want to hear about what isn't going to happen. I only want to hear about what we can do together. This, it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. That's defeatist. It can happen. It will happen. If you can have faith about, let's say, Jesus coming back and you've never seen him in your life, then have faith that black people will overcome even though you haven't seen it in your life. We just have to be working toward it. If we're not working toward it, it damn sure ain't coming. All for $1. It's just insane. It's sad for Snoop that he's gonna go down with Trump. But you know, I think it was. I know you guys probably follow him. I'm trying to remember his name off the top of my head. Uh, Coach D speaks. I saw one of his clips earlier today, and like he was saying, let me put the Black Unity thing in there. That's how Black Unity is spelled. And I said he said something that was really intuitive. He was talking about Keith Boykins. I always put an S on it. Is it Boykin or Boykins? Whatever. That brother is very bright. Always educates. And he was on CNN, Abby Phillips' show. And you got to see the video. You got to go check it out. But Abby Phillips is saying her thing about, you have to, understand basically that, this is an event that he went to or something of that nature. I ain't trying to throw her under the bus. She just said something that was very like vanilla. It wasn't no big thing. And she was speaking to this older white lady and who was a Republican. And she was like, yeah, you're right. It's one of those things where, performing at these types of things is a privilege, to be able to do that. It's just a privilege to be able to do it for the presidency and other stuff like that. It's something that a lot of people would love to have. And Keith Boykins, you could tell. I mean, other cultures could probably tell, but black people knew exactly. He was at the table, and she said that shit. His head sunk down like, bitch trick. The hell she talking about? His eyes closed. I just knew he was about to give her that business because I don't see him too many times. And then, soon after when she said that, he went in and started talking about black people. How you supporting something like this? And he went way back from 1970s or whatever, putting C on applications and not wanting black people to live there, all the way up until 2024 recently, where he said black people are Haitians specifically from these shithole countries are eating your cats and your dogs, even though there was never any sighting of it whatsoever. And even if it was told it was a lie, they still ran with it because they got racist white people to believe anything terrible about black folks or people who are from shithole countries to do anything that they didn't do. It's just insane. He said all that racism and y'all overlooked it and performed for him. He said, you got to understand something. This was Coach D was saying. He was saying, and that brother's really smart. He goes, he said, you got to think about it. Keith Boykins is right, but he's not seeing the picture. He sees the picture of what's the truth, but the picture he's not seeing is that these black people don't care about that. Money is king to them. Power is king to them. They don't care about the black part because racist white people are celebrating them. So they don't care about it like black folks who aren't dealing with the wealth of things. Like I started earlier when I told you, some black people have had wealth for so long, they think of wealth first, black second. Just like some black people would sit here and put their religion ahead of their blackness. So I'm a Christian before they say they black. I'm a Muslim before they say that I'm black. They look at being a rich person instead of saying they're black. And so, with that mindset, black people want them who are in power to not disrespect them, to not disrespect yourself because you're a part of this black group. If you don't have black people's back, being a black person of power, then how do black people stand up to all this when you're not a leader at all? You got money, but you don't care. See what I mean? So nobody's saying, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. But you can't consider yourself a black person as a leader in our communities. And that's all you talk about. Oh, yeah, I'm doing this and unk that. I don't know about y'all. But my uncle, who passed away when I was 18, was not a person who put dollars in front of the people he cared about. And this man professes to love black folk. And he is a owner of a record label, Death Row. The man has multi-million-dollar deals for other artists. October London or something like that. October, that dude is a part on his label. There's a bunch of, he is making millions of dollars as we speak. And he had his ass simping out there on a mixer, moving shit like a regular working dude with a mic in his hand and moving his own audio levels. Where was the DJ? Where's the audio guy? They didn't even set you up like the boss you are. You literally went out there and was in bitch mode. Let me figure this out and talk to these people. I'm like, no. Do you see the head of Capitol Records doing shit like this? Even when you are wealthy and the head of your own record label, you see a black man acting like a janitor. You would never see Elon Musk doing that. You would never see the head of a record label doing that. But you just saw it. And the thing that he did not see, that is the vision that he was putting out there, tells you that this dude is only worthy of this because of his music. But as for a black person, not worthy of this wealth. Because he's not focusing on black shit. He's focusing on his shit. And that's fine. But stop acting like you everybody's uncle. You that crackhead uncle, because you ain't the one that really give a damn about your nieces and nephews. Please stop that shit. Don't act like you're a leader and out there following racists. It's insane. Didn't even set you up like the boss you are. And the other dude, he literally talking about his all his music is, I'm a boss. Yet you on stage, walking back and forth like a simp. Who's a boss in that? These dudes always act like they hard. When it comes down to it, 99.9% of gangsters are people who their family did not love enough to keep them out of gangs. They search for love through all the wrong people. They're broken people. And we're trying to find some kind of solace in broken folk. What does that say about us? We go out and buy somebody's product, make them wealthy, or at least help them become wealthy, and they turn around and spit in your face. This man, Snoop, was literally saying, 2016, whatever it was, if you're going to go perform for Trump, you're a jigaboo. and then goes and performs for Trump with a bunch of other black simps. Even when you have the boss mentality, like they say they have, they be pulling bitch moves. That right there that you saw with Rick Ross, Snoop, powerful black men with some bitch moves. Those weren't boss moves. And because they got money, they're gonna have a bunch of black people. Oh, it's okay. It's no big deal. Blah, blah, blah. Shut up. It is a huge fucking deal. You can't trust them to do anything for black people in the community. So you need to stop looking at them like that and look at them for what it's worth. They're rappers who own businesses, who claim to be bosses but act like bitches. That's what they are. You can tell them if they see it. You can at them if you want, but don't call yourself a boss. It doesn't suit you well. You love your white lady voice. You let her have it. Good for him. Yeah. Mozzie is pronounced the word uh, crazy. Besides, Maisie. Maisie. Okay, Maisie Cats. All right, cool, cool, cool. Love you some. Coach D. Yeah, Coach D. Cool. That brother blew up, man. Me and him was it. At one point, me and him, I was looking at him when we were both at like 10,000 on TikTok. We both hit like somewhere around 10,000 subscribers. I was like, oh shit. So I was looking at him. I was like, all right, cool. But he doesn't cuss as much now. Now the other people cuss somewhat, but he didn't cuss as much as I did and do jokes and stuff. But he would post consistently and do his thing and love that brother and the climb that he's had. Uh, I had like 14,000 subscribers before he did. You feel me? And I was like, oh wow, I surpassed him one day. I said, that's crazy. And then I ended up, I'm like at 14,000 something now, 15,000. His shit's at 75,000. I'm so proud of him. It's insane. I mean, he just kept doing it and putting his head down. And, it says something about just being level headed and not showing a lot of anger and disgust at things and, having a real steady climb and working, putting in that work and putting out content every day, multiple things. And I'm proud of him. And also Tabitha's over 100-something thousand. So proud of her. She's always ahead of me. Her one thing about me is I don't share my life as much as other people. It's not like I'm putting on clothes and showing my weight loss or none of that stuff. You know what I mean? I love old school music. So I have music shows. And so we all have our different types of climb. And I appreciate all of them. I love seeing their content. So yeah, so on that dude just goes off and tells people what I really feel, the truth behind it all. And yeah, it's been fun. Please do a collab with him. It would be great for both of your platforms. Yeah, he a while back ago we reached out. He lives in California too. I'm in California. He reached out and said we should connect. I live in California too, he said. This is when again we were both around in the teens, like 10,000, 12,000, something like that. And I said, sure, we do, really. And it was just to connect, not to do a collab, but it was just to connect and say what's up. Because he respected the way I did my thing. I respect the way he did his thing. And we hit it off. But yeah, I'm going to have to reach out to him again. What's up, John Crenshaw Jr.? Money ain't got shit over love. Most definitely. Most definitely. So yeah. So I'll focus on the love aspect. And then, again, I'm one of those people say we got to focus dead up on what we need to fix. Uh, I'm tired of just listening and talking with no solutions. And I've been a solution guy my entire life. So I've been focused on this for many, many years. These platforms are being developed to protect us from those uh, billionaires that don't give a damn about middle class or poor people, and those people who are easily fooled into believing that, that the rich somehow have their best um, interest at heart. One thing I'm going to share is not only, like I said, I'm working on everything. One of the things that, if you see me on TikTok or here, I never did. I don't think I did have another channel that was Black Brilliance on the B side. It has all my history stuff, and I don't know if it's still up. I haven't done it, talked in a while. But one of the things I realized was that throughout history, if you listen to, if you pay attention to the different genres of music and how many of those genres black people created but never owned or had the patent to it, nor reaped the benefits of its creation. Record labels squeezed a lot of not only just black people, but I focus on black people out of their brilliance, made it damn near impossible for them to have generational wealth, and why they were out there huffing and puffing and sweating and all that. These record label people were sitting at home saying, yeah, this artist over here, this artist over there, and they were collecting the masses of the money. It's time the people start taking back what's theirs. So I love music. If you see what I do, I got a thing called Chocolate Music Lab. TikTok is gone, so I can't do it this Friday. So I might be on Clapper or something, whatever allow me to do music. But I love music. I think music is love. And I respected all these years of all these old school artists, everybody, James Brown, and not just black. I mean, you got Elton John, you got Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, a lot of brilliant artists, Sammy Davis Jr. A lot of these people died without the catalogs or died without their owning, their music or whatever it may be, and it's a damn shame. And now we got streaming, and whereas these brilliant artists don't know how to make ends meet, it's a damn shame if somebody has made music and they're sitting here trying to figure out how to pay bills when that music is making millions and millions of dollars a year, and they're not seeing any of it. I'm like, you know what? I'm putting the solution hat on, and I'm creating a solution for that too. Why? Because I love people and I want them to have the majority. It is time the middle class and the poor took over. It is time you stop giving your brilliance to them and allowing the rich to use you as a pawn. So what I'm building for the music industry is a revolutionary way of streaming and how you, the artist, make a majority of the money. And how you and your fans will be directly connected. You don't need a record label. You don't need all the middle in between people. You don't need none of that. You got a system that will do it for you, and you don't have to worry. Through technology, we can take back the reins of we the people, and not this rich against poor. It's time to defeat them where it hurts. Don't get them to care about you. Take the money out of their mouths. Take the money out of their pockets. And destroy this oligarchy type of mentality where the rich do everything. They have showed their hands to us over and over again that they don't give a fuck about none of us. They do everything. They'll spend tens, hundreds of millions of dollars just to fuck us over, to get us to believe in their ideologies. And then once that happens, fuck everybody over. Elon did it. 200-something million dollars to destroy our people. Not just black people, Americans. White, black, Latin, everybody. If you're not rich, they don't give two shits about you. He's going to get in and tell, he ain't been elected for jack shit. He's going to literally say, well, Americans, yeah, you're going to go through a lot of pain at first, and then it's going to get better. Who the fuck are you? You're a South African. How the fuck you sitting there telling us what's going to happen to us? We've allowed this, America, and it's about time we take it back. If we don't create things to take the power away from them, especially with people like myself who don't give a shit about the money so much, I don't think they deserve that type of power. Because obviously they're not doing good by it. We need people who are going to do good by the people. There's only so much money before you realize I can buy everything. Now what do you want? They got evil ways. We need to empower people who have good ideas for people, not evil. And we need to see it for what it is. If I was in his position, I would be helping the people. I got enough money. I ain't talking about giving nobody no money. I'm talking about investing in people who have ideas so that they can have a piece of the American pie. Hire people at absolutely what they're worth. As long as I'm making a grip of money, I can be able to help you and pay my people more. It ain't gonna harm you no good, not at all. You got enough. You can buy any plane. You can buy any ship. You can build something from scratch that nobody else has. You got that. What else do you need? It's greed over people. Me, it's people over greed. So I don't want that greed shit. I want to be able to help as many people as possible before God calls me home and create an ecosystem that's put into a trust so that it helps people for for eternity. You got to come and listen to it. Love Elton John. Giving the music to other singers. Yeah. The people will have control of their own music. You will own everything. All we're doing is providing the sources to be able to send the music, just like a Tidal, just like a SoundCloud, but their structure is for the corporation and not the people. And so I know that there's through a strategy that I've come up with, it's for the people. The business can make money, but by doing good by people. You as an artist should be benefiting from your work. And you as an artist should have connection with the people that buy your music. I'm connecting the fans with the artist and the money that comes from their hard work directly to the artist, not a manager, not a record label. And that way you keep the majority of your money. It just takes the people to run to this platform and not the SoundClouds or the Tidal in order to blow up these people on the platform. We're going to start out with independents because those are the ones that are going to have the rights to all their music. And those are the ones that are going to be able to make the most money from their gift. It's about time the world treated those who change our lives through music, through technology, through whatever, fairly, and not try to squeeze every dime out of them and fuck them over. Trust and believe you can become a billionaire if that's what you choose by doing right by people. Just as fast, if not faster, than the way people do it now. Just have to have people donate to that as well to be able to make that move. I'm not going to implement these things by using every dime that I have. And even though I have done that for most of the stuff that I'm doing, I spend countless hours in front of these computers building that and creating content. You can learn more about it when you come, the people who come to my Be Heard, blackunity.com. I never noticed that being local. Maybe I was singing heals. We're all born to the beat of the heart, right? Music heals is my channel song. It would be Benny and the Jets. Has copywritten me a few times on my introduction video. Oh, sorry, Elton. Get your passports up to date, please. I have a feeling we're going to need to show papers. I hear that Baroness Fahrenheit. I heard again. I still haven't watched the video. I went straight from my live on TikTok earlier to get something to eat, to watching some TV show, and then coming here because it went down. So I haven't been able to see. I think it was Politics by Tabitha, who spoke on everybody getting their papers together, and I gotta go check it out and see what she's saying. So yeah, we'll work on that. We most definitely will. You haven't looked up to them. Who's them? Are you talking about the artist? Mm. But anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. I said a lot about this. We've been doing this for almost 4 hours, 3.5 hours. I got to get back to work. I just wanted to talk to you guys about that. When I'm not live, I'm focusing on the platforms that I'm building. Every day I wake up with a smile on my face, knowing that these things are going to lead us to the promised land because I am a student of history, and I listen to those statements of, if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. And doing the same things and expecting a different outcome is the purest definition of insanity. And I realize we got to look at the gaps. If you know history, then history has given us the avenues in which to approach to avoid the things that we went through. We can't keep doing what Martin Luther King did in order to get over it. He took it as far as it would go. We have to add to that. We have to shift it so that we're ahead of the oppressor and not doing the same things that they already count on. We got to do something they don't see coming. And we got to constantly be ahead of that because they're going to try and learn what we're doing now and get ahead of it. They're going to spend millions to do so. We don't have those resources. So that's why I do it behind the scenes and I keep on working on it day after day after day. Got to do it that way. If you don't, things won't change for us or nobody else. We're the catalysts. Once black people start doing this, everybody's going to follow. Trust and believe. We're the only ones that focus so hard because we're the ones that are treated the worst. Immigrants are feeling a portion of this, but not the full brunt of it yet. So, follow the dreamer that follows the heart. Thank you, being local. I appreciate it. I respect everybody. Thank you for all your love and support over the years. I will be continuing to talk about politics. I just got to get past my disgust for the fact that ain't nobody doing it. So you'll see it in my videos coming forward. Continue following, supporting. Check out the platforms. If you can get people to donate, if you can't get others to donate, I use everything I make pretty much to build these things, and I spend countless hours because it needs to be done. It is the work that needs to be passionate about. And again, I'm gonna start putting out job descriptions for people, and if it doesn't suit you, pass it along, and let people know it's equity. There's no money in it until we start making money, but there is a passion behind change that is everlasting, that is consistent, and it's through technology. It's working for us even when most of us are asleep. Just think about that. All right, DJ. Thank you, DJ. I see you in here. I appreciate you. To me, it's like a daughter that is educated and informative, that educates her viewers. Yeah, she's like a sister to me, and she's really cool. She's reached out to me uh, on on um, on YouTube when I first came over here. I did start, straight facts, no chaser. I was on TikTok, and she had mentioned something about, everybody needs to get a different platform because it was something that happened to her or whatever, and she's got a backup and this and the other. I listened to her and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go get to my YouTube and start putting the stuff on YouTube as well. And I started from TikTok because I didn't have a backup for nothing on TikTok or any other platform, so I started doing it on YouTube. And then she reached out and said she like duetted a couple videos of mine and was laughing because I say some crazy stuff. and some funny stuff with Trump Whisperer, but it was factual, but still with funny stuff added onto it. And she was laughing, and she would say, "This brother's gonna be talking for a long time, but listen to him." And then, people listen to me, and I mean, like, probably about that was one time I got like probably like 1,500 people that came to subscribe to me after that, and she did it again, and then that was on TikTok though. They came over, and then she put one of my videos on YouTube, and that's when I saw an influx of people coming to my page. So I appreciate and love her for that. Um, yeah, she's doing some really good things. I want y'all to know um, that you know what she does, what Coach D Speaks does, um, and many other people, especially for these two people that I mentioned, because what they're doing, they don't have a team. These people got full-time jobs, and they pushing content like an actual news organization's putting content, and they got millions and millions of dollars. They are posting every day, multiple times a day. I'm here to tell you the content in which I do, of being straight facts and all that, I can't do that. I can't produce that fast. Not because I'm like, slow or something. No, it's just that I talk about facts. I do all these research things. It's not that simple. These people are superhuman. You may not think it, but they are amazing beyond the content they're putting in front of you. The work that they're putting in behind the scenes without a team is insane. Now, mind you, I'm creating apps and doing all kinds of things behind the scenes as well and getting like 4 hours of sleep. I have a different mission on my life. But just know that they're out there putting in that work, and I'm putting it in at a slower pace. But behind the scenes, I'm providing solutions to these problems, because that's where I find value, is being able to solve these things that are causing us so much pain. It hurts to talk about it, the issues all the time, because you wake up and you find another problem, and then you report it. You find another problem, then you report it. Sometimes in these two, I don't know about Coach D Speaks, but I done seen our sister Tabitha take some mental health breaks. At the pace they're going, they should be burnt out every 8th video. So yeah, support those brothers and that brother and that sister, because the work they put in is insane. And I ain't got a jealous bone in my body. I love these people. I don't know them from Adam, but I love their passion to get facts out. Political sis too, most definitely. I talk about her often too. I've been on one of her lives a while back ago. Love them, and they putting in that work. They put in that work. Political sis, be in her car, y'all. She on her lunch breaks putting this stuff in. How she putting it together, I don't know. I don't know the answer. That's harder than a Rubik's Cube for me. What she's doing is insane. And so again, you got to support these people out here finding out the exact laws, how these laws work, going through them, letting you know what's going to work for you and what's not going to work for you, letting you know the politics in your state, in your city, in your country. That's not simple, people. Please stop taking it for granted for what they're doing. Donate to them, subscribe to them, and let them know what they're doing is of value. Because if you don't, that will go away, and you need this value. Because what's going on, it's a bunch of rich people are buying up everything. Even houses that you want to buy, they're buying that up. That only happens when we let people become so extraordinarily wealthy and they don't care about the people, that everything that you love and care for starts to fade away. Corporations are buying up single family homes. You used to couldn't be able to do that. Single family home means you really had to be a family, single family. Feel me? And Now they're selling it to corporations. Corporations couldn't used to buy just homes out of nowhere. They could build homes. They couldn't just buy them as if it's theirs. And they're buying them now and raising the prices astronomically so you can't afford it. And then telling you it's the immigrants that caused the problem and it's this people that's causing the problem. No, they have been and always will be the problem. We have to figure that out, provide a solution, and work together to get rid of that type of mentality, that type of structure. It takes people who care and passion. We're not going back. All right. Yeah, you gotta look them up. They're really good. They're really good. Good people. Thank you, being local. I appreciate that. I see the emoji. And so from there on, you'll see me come on and do lives. Maybe not as long as this. I'm long-winded. I'm passionate about stuff. It is what it is. And I fight day in and day out. When I get off of this, I'm going to fight by building more to this app and this plan, the structure, the strategies. And on the 25th, we'll have a meeting discussing what I'm doing and patents I'm purchasing and all these different things that we're, trademarks, so that this will be a structure for Black people for centuries to come and not just fly by night. Oh, and by the way, I'm not selling a thing. I'm not into the flipping the business idea. I'm not building this so that it can be sold to the nearest richest white person or racist person or any other person. This is built to last. If it dies, it dies. But the system is supposed to feed into itself so that as we help more people, those people will start helping in the business. By them being successful, a piece of what we do goes back into the business like the Rockefellers did. And long after I'm dead, it'll be a structure that invests in Black folk, who would in turn invest in whomever the hell they want to invest in. Black, white, Latin, Asian, whatever you want to do. But Black folks have to have an opportunity first. And you got to allow us to lead, meaning like, I ain't saying nobody's got to give it to us. I'm saying that people like myself building something like this has to allow that to breed into our people, that they got a resource that doesn't look at them as a negative when they see them walk in as a Black person asking for $1 million. They see, where's your plan at? Oh, right there? Oh, shit, that might make $30 million. All right, here's $1 million. Show us what you're working with. You got a friend in us. Makes my heart feel good to even say that to a Black person instead of, we're not really looking for people in this position. We're not looking for your business. They're not looking for your Blackness. Being Black would be a plus with me. Not that anybody else is a negative. It's just us. Come on. Let's do it. And when you build a structure like that, you're not worried about people failing. You're focused on people succeeding. What do you need to succeed? Oh, you need another $3 million for the business and it's already doing well? Oh, okay, here's the $3 million. That's what other cultures do for their people. They look for unicorns. How do you think the apples came about? In their garage, a bunch of white dudes working in something, and somebody decided to invest in them. They came for them and they propped them up. How did Facebook do it? He had no way of making money with Facebook. Facebook went almost a decade or more, maybe a decade, a little bit over a decade, without really turning a profit. They threw billions and billions of dollars into that. For what? Data. They put a price on data, and that's how they're going to make money. Facebook didn't have a way to make money. They would have never invested in Facebook if a Black person owned it. It had no way to make money. They're investing in the future of white men. And we don't understand that. We keep on acting like, oh, they're just the brightest on the planet. No, they're not. None by far. They're privileged white men that have gotten investments just on an idea. That idea did not have any way of making money. They kept throwing money in it, money in it, money in it, and it struck oil. They kept digging deeper in debt, and black, if Facebook was owned by a black person, it would have been over in the first couple of years because they had no way of making money if it had ever gotten a chance to begin with. You can go on and on with apps from here to kingdom come. There have been people who have gotten 30 million. If you ever paid attention to VCs, and a lot of people don't unless you're in that industry, there are VC companies that have entrepreneurs who are white men who have gotten $30 million for a business that died in 6 months. Did they have to give the remaining of the $30 million back? Mm-mm. Business failed. And guess what happened? Did they get tossed away? No. Their next business idea came up a few months later. They got like another $50 million. They were still holding on to the other, whatever, $20 million they had in the other one. But it was their money to have. They invest in their own. Even if they fail, they keep on going. Black people need that resource because we're always asking and begging others that aren't focused on them. They're focused on white men, 100%. We build this wealth with these industries that I'm building. We're going to focus on black people, 100%. Because we need that resource, just like they do. The reason why we don't have any unicorn, we do have a couple of them that you may not know about. Calendly was owned and created by a black man, Calendly. But still, we don't have those resources to invest in our unicorns. When our stuff is failing, they give up on us. And we don't have that group of black billionaires that continue to keep on putting money into you, knowing that it's a good resource, but we just it hasn't struck oil yet. We're ready to pull out. We're ready to pull out. When every white guy who has come up with some kind of idea that's received $30 million, they're all in. Even if that person's business dies in 6 months, they still all in. Because they know people with brains like this are few and far between. They're tapping into this person to strike gold. Because they know these people are capable. They may have made a mistake here. They may going to learn from it. Let's keep on going. Let's keep on going. Let's keep on going. They lose millions of dollars to get hundreds of millions of dollars. And tell black people, oh, you just aren't good at it. Bye. I'm going to share one last one with you. And that was, you may know this. You can look it up. I forgot her name. I think maybe Elizabeth or something like that. It was a white woman. These VC companies were giving her money out the yin yang. She amassed over $800 and something million on a scam. Almost $1 billion this woman raised before they realized what she was talking about was a scam. Her thing was, you can be able to take a drop of blood and figure out some kind of medical thing. I forgot what it is. And this machine was going to figure it all out. Just one little machine was going to figure it out. It's portable and all this. And if it was true, it was extraordinary. She didn't even have to prove the product could work. None of them ever saw the actual product work. She was coming into labs and putting on lab gear and living the rich life, not creating or improving jack boo-boo. She's in jail now. At least she was. I don't know if she may have got out. 800 something million. That's more than all black people that go for money ever made in probably the last decade ever invested in. One person, white woman, having no clue. She was smart at something, but it wasn't what she was trying to invent. There are a plethora of stories like this. Not as strange as hers. That 800 million was crazy. But there are many of them that have gotten 10,000 or 10,000, 10 million, 30 million, 40 million. When black people who have brilliant ideas are receiving $1 million from these firms, let's see what you can do with that. They trying to turn water into wine with that $1 million. Skimping and shit, trying to figure, oh, you ain't gonna eat this week, and we ain't gotta pay this person and all that with that million. They get this fool $30 million when his thing only needs $4 million. They giving him 30. And a black person coming up with a brilliant idea, they want to give him $1 million. You have to learn the history of these things to understand I ain't bullshitting you. And you also, when you start to learn this information like me, you start to get fed up. And I'm past that phase. I start creating solutions. So go look it up. Trust me. So these are just some of the things. There's a wealth of knowledge out there to learn. And they're pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. But like I said, black folks, we got to come together. blackunity.com. My thing says Black Unity, period. You'll see a period after the Black Unity. You'll see my merch on there as well. A percentage of the profits will go to help build all this stuff. Again, I don't care about the money so much. I care about the solutions actually being put in place. I want to win together. This is not a me thing. This is a we thing. My God gave me these gifts, and I'm being of service to my people. And I will be rewarded by whatever he gives me. But the reality is, I have to see this through. But I've been tasked to motivate you guys to want this in order for this to become a reality. Because I'm not seeking this from the oppressor to help me. I'm not asking them for shit. I'm asking us to want it bad enough that we figure it out. So you can go donate blackunity.com, atavi.com, and as we start to build, you will be notified as to every phase. And I'm trying to create wealth for my people as well, because once it's built, by that time, all of those people who are donating, you have become what? Friends and family, which allows you to do what? To actually, when it's time to invest, be the first investors to invest. And what happens to those who invest in a business at the beginning? You become the person who makes the most money once this business blows the fuck up. That's how rich people stay rich. And that's how I am focused on making as many black people as possible rich. Not because I'm saying that, oh, get rich quick. Nope, it ain't that. It's about being a part of something, investing in something, and owning it, and understanding financial literacy, which this app and all the things that I'm building will educate our babies, so that by the time our kids are, you have a baby in the next 5 years, by the time your kid is 10, they might own their first home by being a part of this. Trust and believe. It's a we thing, not a me thing. It's just me and my blood, sweat, and tears, and the ingenuity that God put inside my brain for this to happen. We all have something that we're brilliant at, maybe multiple. This is what I'm brilliant at. The part of getting people motivated, I'm working on it. But it is what it is. All right. Much love to y'all guys. Thank you again, being local. Onward through the fog. Never give up on what's just and true. Totally appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate and love you as well. You didn't say love you, but I say that because I love people who are positive and honest. And, love all people, but I got to focus on black people, majority, because you help the least of us, you help the most of us. All right. You guys take it easy. Have a good night. Be safe. Again, TikTok is gone. We'll probably see it again, but look out for it being X 2.0. That's scary, but got to move a little different maybe. And maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. All right. Much love to y'all. Take care. Mr. Straight Facts is out.